gentlemen, welcome to Casting the Spotlight episode number 133, featuring the great Alex Nicoloff. He is back on the podcast for his first solo episode ever.
Yeah, glad to be back.
So, how's this feel in relation to, I guess we had a room full of people every other time you were here?
A lot less hectic.
Yeah,
A room full of people around one tiny mic.
One tiny mic. This is definitely a different feel. I like it a lot.
it is. It's a much more crisp, clean sound, though. You know, you can actually hear us vividly. You know, if we were to bitch about, I don't know, a fantastic film like Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, Jesus.
You can hear it clear as day, you know?
Clear as day.
What are you talking about, man? That movie?
Oh, no, it was a world-class piece of shit.
You hear clearly like that crisp karate from Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he took after Bruce Lee. He channeled his inner, like, literally into the dragon. His inner into the dragon.
Yeah, speaking of Bruce Lee, though, man, Brandon Lee in that fucking, in that Crow movie, that was an epic performance, though.
Epic performance. I love the Crow. Crow's so good.
Let's not forget Sting was inspired off of that.
Oh, God, I love
Scott
Sting.
Hall.
Scott
It
Hall.
all comes back.
All comes back to Scott Hall. I love Scott Hall.
And that was honestly a really intelligent, like, reinvention of the Sting gimmick overall, I think. Because, I mean, obviously it stood the test of time. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was the Crow
100%.
character for a long, long time.
Fucking ever. Was like,
It's like his most iconic character.
Oh, yeah.
when people think about it, it's like you think of the Crow and then like Server Sting, but like,
Yeah.
and then the weird shit he did in TNA, but like,
The Joker.
The Joker stuff actually got over, though.
it was so weird that it did too, because he was just fucking out of his mind when he was doing that shit.
Yeah. Well, that was the Dark Knight was, like, fucking massive
Right.
and everything.
Everyone was all about it,
So they're like, oh, fuck yeah. He was just
Fuck
becoming the guy that became the popular movie.
right? Just like, oh, pop culture, let's do this.
But anyway, it's good to have you, man.
Hey man,
You're obviously more than welcome. This is actually your third appearance overall,
Yeah, big
even though
three.
it's your first solo.
first solo, third appearance overall. I'm very happy. I'm excited to do the solo. Very,
Yeah.
very intimate.
It is. See, even those boys, you know, Cactus, Colton, Jack, Chainsaw, Cody, neither one of them have had a solo with this new setup yet.
I feel honored that I'm better than both of them.
And Cody's listening. He's like, my
I
God!
was like, that motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Cactus, Colton, Jack, he's ready to pile drive you through the table.
I mean, probably. But, you know.
They're going to want to come back
they're gonna-
immediately.
Oh, yeah, they're like, I'm not going to be back on there. Got some shit to say.
Yeah, they're jealous. They're jealous that you're Donnie, you know?
I mean, it is what it is. You got the guy with the purple. It's perfect.
It
Yeah.
is.
Donatello's the best.
He was always my favorite growing up, to be honest.
As he should be.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, you always lean towards Raph or Mikey because, you know, angry little boys and then fun-loving boys. But, like, Donatello, like, once you get older, you respect him more. It's like, oh, you got that brain. You know what you're doing.
Yeah. Some of the most intellectually sound individuals are
Right.
like, man, Donatello,
Donatello, he knows what's up.
he knows.
He gets
I
it.
would say, like, overall, it feels like Michelangelo is most people's favorite.
Yeah, because everyone loves the comic relief.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he would die first in a horror movie, but, like, everyone loves him.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's kind of like
Or the hothead.
Yeah.
the stoner or the, that's the,
comic relief or stoner. Always got to go first.
and sometimes it's the same person.
And sometimes.
You ever seen the Cabin in the Woods?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I was not a fan of it the first time I saw it.
Really?
Yeah, it was just something about it. I don't know if it was just like too much into like behind the curtain of the horror movie thing. Like when Scream did it, like Wes Craven was great at it. Like I don't know, something about Cabin in the Woods. I was like, I don't fuck with this. I remember just ranting about it for the longest time. I think now that I've rewatched it and everything, like I appreciate it more. Like
With strong Evil Dead vibes, though. If
Yeah,
you
very
like Evil
strong.
Dead,
Yeah,
so.
so very strong Evil Dead. I think it's just I have such a passion for the Evil Dead where I'm like, no, stop it. What are you doing? But yeah, no, Stoner character made it to the fucking end in that one, so.
He did. Yeah, he was like, he kind of went with the main girl, right?
Mhm.
Like he was supposed to be gone, like in the horror, like generally the scheme of the way things play out.
Right, and like he gets.
Well, he fucked it all up because he didn't die.
Yeah.
everyone thought he died, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't rewatch that just to see if I still have more feelings.
It got like way deeper
Mm-hmm.
than anticipated though, because it was like a whole government conspiracy. And
I thought it was a pretty entertaining movie, though, honestly. Like, and it had that one sketchy motherfucker at, like, the gas station that's always like, oh, you don't want to take that road.
you know damn well which more.
Yeah. He's like, which war was that? He's like, you know damn well which war.
Yeah, no. I always got to have
I wouldn't go out there if I was you guys.
Yeah, it's always that, or they purposely mislead them on the wrong road.
Yeah.
Oh, you take the one motherfucker that's always like, oh, you take a mile this way, you're gonna cut off like 10 miles off the journey. It's gonna save you about an hour.
It's gonna be perfect. We're gonna get there
it's
in
like,
no time.
Yeah,
You take the next left you see, and
Right
you'll
after-
shave an hour off that trip.
right after
And then
like,
they
fucking
leave
hit-
and they show a close up on his face, and he's like,
Got him.
Oh yeah, no, he's always part of the scheme. You know?
yeah.
Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I haven't.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm not as familiar as the Evil Deads as I'm sure you guys are.
So,
I've
yeah.
seen a few of them.
It's Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's like takes the whole hillbilly trope
Yeah.
and like turns it on its head. It's really good. I highly recommend it.
Did you see Evil Dead Rise, like the one that came out last year?
Oh yeah, I did. I went to
That
see
was-
that in theater.
I thought that was
So
pretty fucking
good.
good. Yeah.
It was. I was not expecting it to be the level that it was, and like once like what was it like one of the scenes like she threw up on him. I'm like, oh fuck, this movie's going all in,
Yeah.
and it was so good.
It was wild because it escalated from point A to B like quickly. You
Right.
were like, holy shit!
Yeah.
You're like,
Like,
it felt
well-
very normal, and then it just went off the fucking
Yeah,
rails.
and like the opening scene when like when she it was like when she scalps her, like rips the hair off. I'm like, oh fuck, we're just starting hot. Got it. Yeah, but no, any horror movie is always a good time.
They wanted you to know. They're like, this is what you can expect later.
So
We're gonna chill out after this, but we're gonna let you know where this is heading.
We're nice and slow, and then fucking just know we're gonna turn the corner real quick.
Is
They
that,
did do. Once they opened the Necronomicon, they're like, oh, what is this
You're
record?
like,
It's like
congratulations.
shit went off the rails.
Hell.
Is that your number one horror franchise of all time? You think? You
Yeah,
think?
probably, because I love Bruce Campbell, so I just love it. And then Sam Raimi directed it, and like I love the fucking Spider-Man movies a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except-
He's done a range there in the
He's
thing.
done so much. Sam Raimi's done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. I like
You've
him.
seen the thing, I imagine.
Yeah, of course.
Damn.
Well, the thing was John Carpenter.
Yeah.
though.
Or oh fuck. Yeah, I fucked
Look
that
at
up.
you.
Sam.
Look at you.
Yeah.
There was.
What else
He
did he do in the
did some
horror?
other shit though.
What else did he do in
had-
the horror
I think
realm,
he
though?
did.
Because he
He
directed
did the whole the original trilogy.
He
right?
directed another Marvel movie. I'm
Doctor
pretty
Strange.
sure not recently. Yeah,
Yeah.
was it into the?
The Multiverse of
Multiverse.
Madness.
Damn. I kind of wish that I had better things to say about that one. I didn't hate it, but
was
after No Way Home came out, there was high expectations.
Oh yeah, no.
And you saw both of those with me.
Spider-Man's my favorite like comic book character ever.
Mhm.
So like No Way Home, I was watching. I'm like, that you can't beat this. Like you have all of them together.
Mhm.
It's everything's going on, and like you go from that to, like Multiverse of Madness. You're like, okay, it is. And like I don't think I've seen like another Marvel movie. I'm like, yes, this is how I felt leaving after Spider-Man. And it's like,
I know. And the thing is like I think No Way Home post Endgame, No Way Home had to have been the best thing that has come out.
Mhm.
I would
no, I
say.
100% agree.
And Endgame was like peak, man. That was like.
I remember seeing that opening weekend and just being like, oh shit, this movie has everything I need. Like they could stop Marvel now and be okay.
They should have.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and now they're
Be
trying
real.
to like. Now they're like, oh man, it's never had stakes like this. It's like it kind of feels like you're just
Sam
reaching.
Raimi.
Like, okay.
It kind of feels like they're reaching for to say that like all this new. It's like how is this new crop of superheroes? I'm not saying all like the movies or characters are bad or anything, but it feels like they're reaching an extra mile to try to say that it's way crazier than it was.
Right.
And it's just like everybody knows that build-up was perfect. It was
Also-
executed perfectly
Right. You
in
have
Endgame, and it's like how you get top that.
right.
Well, also, it's kind of the same syndrome as Star Wars has, And I love some of the Star Wars shows.
It's probably
But
worse
as a
because they have
fan-
way more stuff coming out than Star Wars.
But yeah, it's like they keep pumping out content. Star Wars has slowed down more, but it's like, how do you want people to keep up with these series every 3 months? The fucking movies,
You got
all
movies, and it's like, oh, did you watch the shows? Oh, you need to watch the shows too. It's like I remember going into I think it was Doctor
It's like,
Strange.
I want to watch other shit than just
and
Marvel.
it was like they had the reveal of Scarlet Witch, and I'm like, is this supposed to mean something to me? I don't know what the fuck happened because I didn't watch WandaVision.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think the only show I've seen of the Marvel shows has been Moon Knight.
Yeah, I did watch that. I thought the Hawkeye show was actually pretty good. And like going in, whenever they're like, "Oh, these are all going to be our shows," I did not think I would like Hawkeye that much, but I think like Haley Steinfeld was in it, and fucking it was like set around Christmas time. Like I like Jeremy Renner, but like Hawkeye, it's hard to say that like he has the most allure by any means. As like as far as I'm not down on him, but like as far as the superhero goes, but like the collection of people they had in that, the story they told, the setting with the Christmas time thing, like everything about it was actually pretty good. I was like, I would not have thought that beforehand. It was one of my favorite shows they released, especially after like Endgame, where they're trying to come out with all that stuff.
I mean, I'll talk shit on Hawkeye. He just shoots a bow, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying but the show was one of the better shows. I thought it was better than, in my opinion, I thought Hawkeye was better than WandaVision. The first season,
era.
the Falcon, the Winter Soldier, I thought it was better than like a lot of those, honestly. Moon Knight was interesting because it kind of took on like a horror-esque vibe in the
That's why I thought Moon Knight sounded cool. I didn't check it out, but I was like, that might be one worth checking.
Once they showed that, I think it was like maybe like Psych Ward and like the 3rd episode. That's whenever like a switch turned for me, and like I wish I could remember more of the show itself, but it kind of was like, this is getting pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, Oscar Isaac did a fantastic job, and like
he's Poe Dameron.
He was acting against himself because the Moon Knight has like different personalities and everything because it's two different people. He did really well. It's like one of my favorite shows. Ethan Hawke was in it. And he was so good in that too. And like I love Ethan Hawke, so it's like this show just has everything for me.
Were you a fan of Sinister?
I fucking love Sinister. I remember seeing it when it came out.
It's fucking creepy.
It's damn near peak horror for like the modern age.
Like, a lot of lists have rated it like one of the scariest movies of all time.
It scared the fuck out of me when I remember first seeing it. Because I remember we were in, what was it? It was Arnold or Ronnie's, and like there was a hole in the back of the wall for some reason. And like the whole time, I'm like, this fucking motherfucker's gonna come out of this goddamn hole. Like, you're just so in the movie, like, hold on, there's a hole now too. What is going on?
Wait, was that hole there when we sat down?
I don't remember what the fuck is going on. And like the first
hole,
like this is the first, like it was a big fucking hole. Like a person could walk out of it big. I was like, this is fucking, I'm not thinking that.
Yeah, that'd be fucked up. With a movie like that, it'd be like, there ain't no fucking way.
Like, no, get me the fuck out of here. What are we doing?
Any theater you could have put this in.
Ooh, shit, that'd be a scary motherfucker. I saw The Conjuring in theaters, but I didn't see Sinister in theaters.
I saw Sinister in theaters. And it was like later on during its release, so, like not a lot of people were in there. I remember it's like the first time you see was a Bagul, like actually like acknowledge Ethan Hawke. You're like, oh fuck.
Like you get through the laptop.
Yeah, and you like feel it in the theater, and like it was fucking a great experience. Yeah, no, I rewatch it frequently. It's so good.
Yeah, I pretty much
get chill out on it. Like I watch it maybe yearly still.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I've seen it so many times now that I'm like, same with The Conjuring.
Yeah,
where it's like they're so good, they're so effective, but once you've seen them 15 times, you're like,
we've seen a lot of like the slashers that many times.
But they never like scared me. They didn't have the scare value. It was just like I was there to watch some slash and fuck about shit.
Right.
You know?
You watch teenagers die. You see boobs and you see teenagers die. That's what you go with the slashers for.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna cry. You're gonna die, and you have a good time.
They want you to cry.
They want you to cry.
And they always sell you, it's like, this movie will fuck you up. It's like, dude, it's a slasher movie. I love slasher movies. They've never mentally fucked me up. Right. Even at 12 years old, seeing that, I was like, oh, this is entertaining.
You know, some of the scary movies, like, not ones that, like, the slasher ones, like, Hereditary, fucked me up the first time I saw it. I remember seeing Paranormal Activity for the first time. That fucked me up. Because, like, they made it seem like it was based on a true story, how they, like, set it up, and, like, found footage, like... Because, like, they did found footage a lot, because, like, Cloverfield and everything, and then they stopped for a bit, and then Paranormal Activity dropped, and you're like, oh, fuck.
I think it would have...
It was, like, the resurgence of all of that.
I think it would have retained its scare value if they had not made, like, seven sequels.
You know,
way too
It's
big.
like the first Paranormal Activity, and then you can stop after that.
Yeah. Like, if they had just came out with that first one, people would be looking back at it like it was, like, Blair Witch or something. They'd be like, this is some fucking weird shit. Like, what the hell?
You know, like...
Like, is it real, or is it some of this just recorded
even though
by
Blair
accident?
Witch, the story of the filming of Blair Witch has more of a lore than when you actually watch the movie. The movie itself, you're like, eh.
Yeah.
But, like, reading about the movie is dope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, how they did everything and, like, made it seem like it was legit happening.
They even had the actors in it. Like, they were freaking them the fuck out.
And then they, like, went into hiding after the movie came out, just, like, making me feel real. You know, Blair Witch was definitely way ahead of its time.
Have you ever seen Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
No.
You should watch that. We showed Cody that this past year whenever he came on. It's kind of like, it's almost like this killer who in his world, like, oh, Freddy, Jason, Michael, like, they've all existed and they happen, but, like, he's, like, basically doing a documentary of, like, his process with his killing and everything else, and, like, they have this group of people like following him around and just like trying to get, you know, just get an insight to how it all works, even though he is a killer and like he's trying to set this whole thing up. It's kind of like but it's filmed like it's a documentary. Yeah. And it's interesting concept. I think that's one of the reasons you should use. So, like, I don't know if you ever watched The Walking Dead or not, but Scott Wilson's in it. He was Herschel. Yeah. And he's kind of like a classic, but he feels horror, you know what I mean? He was in that movie In Cold Blood a long time ago. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, he feels like a horror character.
Robert Englund. We all know who he is. He's also in it. He's a fucking legend. But he's actually one of the heroic, like, Dr. Loomis type characters. Like he's the psychiatrist of who the main character Leslie Vernon is in the movie. But it's an interesting watch. I think you should. It's not particularly, I would say, like, scary, but it's a different take on, like, the entire genre itself, and, like, you know, and slashers.
Like that horror movies that just came out where it's like through the perspective of the horror, like of the killer. It's like supposed to be
in a violent nature. I want to see that. I hope that it's one of those, like, Shudder releases, though, so it's, like, got a real quick stint in theaters. I'm like, I hope it's still there by the end of this week.
Right.
Because I might be able to see it. But
here's hoping.
I heard that it was a lot of just watching this dude walk the fuck around.
I mean, that's what the fuck they do in those movies. They walk around menacingly.
Like, it's basically Jason Voorhees, but it's this guy. And you're just following him walk through the fucking woods. As he's like stalks these teens and just fucks them up.
That might have been what Jason was talking about earlier when I went by there. And he said him and Cody were going to see something on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I think that's what we're seeing. I know we were talking about it. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So.
What do you know?
I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to check it out.
What is it again?
In a Violent Nature.
In a Violent Nature.
Okay.
You know, I remember seeing the trailer. I'm like, oh, this looks very interesting.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, it definitely looks like they're taking after the big the lumbering killer, like Jason, Michael, Leatherface kind of style, but you're like following that dude around.
Yeah, it was like very first like the first Jason kind of movies. Like we were like not sure what Jason is, and you're just like watching him, and like it looks really good.
But it's like third-person perspective.
Yeah, you're just following him around. Like, you're behind him. So.
Those movies are always good.
Yeah, what if you don't see his face very often?
Dude, that
just the back of his
head.
head.
Just the back of his head the whole time.
It'd be like a video game or something.
It really would be.
That would be quite interesting.
What was that action movie that came out, and it was like you were first person?
Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, and he was just doing a bunch of. It looked like a first-person shooter, like video game.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. I haven't seen it, but I like remember when it came out. People were
I was like interested in seeing it because I was like, I don't know if that would be good for
Right.
an hour and a half.
Right. It was
you
a
know?
very interesting concept. Like, I don't know if I can sit in a theater or sit at home and just watch it. Like, I played video games, but like, it feels different playing a video game, like controlling everything and just sitting, like watching through someone else's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Might be easy to, like, that'd be interesting to do in a horror movie, though, because it seems like it'd be really easy to jump scare you
Mm-hmm.
from first person.
Oh, 100%. There you go. $1 million idea. First person horror movie.
And, dude, I say ideas on here all the time, and I'm like, well, that's fucking gone.
Well, that's gone. Now someone's going to hear it and fucking they're going to, well, at least I get to watch it.
I wouldn't have made it anyway, so.
Damn.
It would be dope, though, because you could just turn your head and, oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. Shit. God damn.
You ever put together like a horror list around September, October, and kind of just churn out as many as you possibly can? You should start if you don't already.
I don't, but I know, like,
It's fun to do.
AMC does, like, the horror movies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only thing I have on, like, start of October. It's like, I'll just turn AMC on and just keep it on all day. Because, like, it'll show, like, anything. And, like, a lot of the time it's, like, a lot of the older Jason, Freddy's and stuff. But, like, going back and watching it, like, having not watching it for a year, you're like, oh, yeah, this is good. This is nice. This is what I needed. I remember...
Put you back in the spirit.
Right, when we had cable at work for a hot bit during October, like, you know, turning on the break room, like, fuck it, we're gonna watch horror movies today, guys. Sorry. Yeah.
Worth it. It's the it's like the one time a year where it's like that's at the forefront of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that. It just feels right to go back to.
Right, no, 100%.
We watch so many fucking movies around that time of year now that like we just have to start early because there's just so much. I think this year though, like I don't know exactly how my list is gonna go, but I'm like I may have to throw some aside that I've been watching a lot and kind of try to introduce more new stuff that I've watched, because if I've watched them now 6, 7, 8 years basically in a row or whatever,
it's like,
I'm like I've got to introduce some other stuff, in which I do in general anyway. I introduce new stuff, but like some of them, like everything can't always make the cut. You know what I mean?
You can only watch the first Friday the 13th so many times.
Well, and I don't even usually watch the first one.
Exactly.
First one, not near the best.
No, I think
the first one, a lot of those series are not always the best. I don't think.
I think Friday the 13th especially is like once you start Freddy starts going like more off the cuff and crazy. Like in the later ones, you're like, oh no, this is the best.
Oh yeah.
Now the first Scream is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that one's.
A lot of people debate that the first Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw are all the best too. And one of my like hot takes for horror is I feel like there's multiple movies in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise that's better than the original first one.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a hot take.
I feel like I'm one of the few people that think that, and I'm like, because I watched all of them through the span of the last like year and a half, like again, and I've seen most of them.
Like the remakes and everything too. Right?
Yeah, throughout, history. But I went back and watched all of them, and I'm like, I feel like I like part 2.
Well, part 2 you get like more comedy in there.
It's a little comedic too. Yeah. Part 2,
A little.
the 2003 remake, and the 2006 prequel, even maybe a little more than the original, and that is one of the hottest takes I probably have for horror.
That's blasphemous right there. Did you watch the Netflix one?
Yeah.
We watched, me and Cody and Colton watched the 2022 one. For all of us, I don't think any of us had seen it, and we all watched it at the same time. And it was actually kind of interesting because like Leatherface like never really fucking dies. Like he really does. Most of the time, he really never does. And most of the other characters, franchise films, they like almost always get killed.
Right.
Whether or not they have a resurrection scene or a hand comes up at the end, that almost always happens. But they get killed, quote unquote, first.
Right.
Leatherface just doesn't even normally die.
No, he's just there.
You know what I mean?
You just
crazy.
escape him.
Yeah,
And
but
he's like, fuck.
you just live another day. And
So
that's about it.
that movie, while it wasn't necessarily like wasn't the best. Like, it did keep me entertained the whole time, I would say. I haven't seen several other ones. Like, wasn't the one was it the 03 one? Was that the one Jessica Biel was in, or was it somebody else?
That
Okay,
was 03.
That one was pretty good. I thought
That
pretty
one
good.
was damn good.
I saw that one, the one that the 2013 Alexander Daddario one.
I was like,
ridiculous.
Damn good. I don't know if I go that far.
It was.
He said it was
fine.
damn good. I said it was pretty good. But
The
I have
13
never.
one is pretty ridiculous.
I honestly liked it, except some of the lines were terrible. But you can't say that one was that bad. Some of these other ones were fucking holding up. What the fuck?
They weren't. 03 was just a remake.
Dude,
13
2013
wild
13
shit
did some wild
with its
2013 was brutal.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it was a
so
cool
bad.
movie, but like the franchise, like when you take it for what the franchise was, it didn't make sense within the franchise. It
Neither
was
did a
just
lot
like-
of those.
Well, 03 and 06 still made sense.
I
Part
mean,
2
they
still
rebooted
made
it because
sense.
they had no other ideas.
Right?
They do that with all the horror
Let's just throw one out.
Literally all of them.
Oh, I guess we'll go back to the drawing board.
Oh shit, let's wait 10 years.
Halloween's been rebooted 6 times.
It's well,
Yeah, but Zombie did it once, and that's...
and that was dope. No, that was dope. That was dope. It fucking like it added some backstory. It fucking made it more dense than it fucking
A
was.
lot of people hated
No, that
the
was
backstory of Michael Myers.
I don't know why.
that made all the sense in the fucking world.
Right
in
now,
my
it
opinion.
was so good.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
It's not weirder or creepier that you didn't know it. It was more like, how the fuck did that happen?
Like, oh, it was a
Whenever
fucked
you
up
actually
So
kid.
like, I
see-
just wanted to think that he was faceless evil. I didn't fucking.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make him scary at all.
No, it doesn't.
He's a fucked
There's
up
no.
kid.
It doesn't make it.
Humanizing him makes him scary.
Yeah, it doesn't make it intimate or relatable. Zombies movie made it, oh fuck, he got bullied and this happened, he had a shitty home life, and then he just said fuck it, and he started killing all these motherfuckers.
It is crazy
makes
how
sense.
he turned out to be a 7-foot fucking
Right?
monster.
It's like
though.
no one else's
Like,
name was
that's
that tall.
ironic.
He's
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
no,
that's
yeah,
it.
he
Just so
fucking-
happened to be a monster.
Yeah.
He hit some insane fucking growth spurt in there in prison.
It's like, yeah, he was kind of a
In
fucking
juvie.
short, chubby kid, and then he became a 7-foot monster. How the fuck did that
I
happen?
don't know what fucking diet they had on in that fucking place.
Well, I
Goddamn.
think-
They made him-
He was-
he was just lifted fucking
Just
weights.
nothing
He
but
was-
weights.
he was
Him and
short.
Loomis just hitting the gym.
He was short, but he was only like 10, so I don't. That was like well before he hit a growth spurt. Anyway.
Loomis is like, I mean, he doesn't talk anymore, but he's fucking hitting the gym
He's
hard.
fucking
man.
maxing out every day.
He's like, in a weird way, Michael, I feel like you've become my very best friend. He's like, ah, that goes to show you how fucked up my life is.
Yeah, you just with that guy every day talking to him.
Well, and what's crazy is he hadn't said a word in 15 years, and Loomis's hair was fucking white.
What? Could
Yeah.
you imagine just talking to someone for 15 years and they just don't fucking talk back?
Not one
They
word.
give you really bad vibes and
Yeah,
don't say
Just
anything.
the whole time.
He's like, I feel like I failed as a psychiatrist. Whenever he says that, though, I'm always thinking, I'm like, you didn't feel like any of the 15 years before then
Yeah,
that you
like-
failed?
Like maybe like year 2 after he stopped
He's
talking.
like,
Maybe like,
I haven't
I
heard
should-
from him in a year.
I should hang it up.
Yeah, dude. Once you reach the decade point,
You're
you
like-
would think you'd be like, "This is going nowhere."
This is going nowhere.
Yeah.
I probably should stop.
Oh, yeah. He fucking...
That's why he was the one always that was just like everybody was like, "Well, maybe we can get him in and take him in." He's like, "No, kill that motherfucker!"
Kill that bitch. We don't fucking want him.
Oh, man, that nurse, man, she fucked up. Whenever
Oh, shit.
she's like, she looks at the picture, she's like, you baby, couldn't be related to you. And then he just like takes the fork. They leave him alone with the nurse with a fork, with a metal
Dumbest
fork.
move. Then, like, when Danny Trejo gets killed, he's like, I was good to you, Mikey.
Oh, that
was
I
brutal.
good.
That was
like,
sad.
oh,
You're like,
jeez.
this poor guy.
This poor guy, he was good to you.
He was good to him, yeah, and then he just like drowned him, and then he smashed an old school TV on him.
Oh, God.
Not even like a flat screen, one of those 50 fucking pounders.
Right? Like, I was like, okay, maybe
Yeah,
maybe Michael will let
that's
Danny
Rob
live.
Zombie's favorite
okay.
thing. He likes to like put deaths in every one of his movies that you're like, "Oh, fuck you!"
Why did we do this? Rob, who hurt you?
He was better to him than almost anybody in there, man.
Right?
And he had like one of the more brutal deaths.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You got to keep your head up, man."
Yeah.
You got this.
That nurse took it though. She had like 17 fucking in the second one, like 17 stabs to like the spine and shit. Oh, that was fucked. His sister was brutally fucking murdered too.
And then Octavia Spencer, she was one of the nurses.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, those zombie movies, that was some brutal shit. Like that zombie first one, I think he killed. I don't know if he killed. I think he killed more people in the first one than the second Rob Zombie one. I think it was like 19 people on screen.
Yeah. Dude, the second one, Michael was sick.
Oh yeah.
Like his shit was dope in 2, like Zombies 2.
He sawed that dude's head off.
But like Lori, her shit was so annoying in Zombies 2. And I know she was traumatized, she was dealing with that. So was Annie. And Annie wasn't an insufferable bitch. I'm sorry.
It's like, we get it if you saw this shit. Get over it.
Annie felt like more of the like sympathetic main character to me. I'm like, I'm on Annie's side here, dude.
Yeah.
She's the one that I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, go Annie. Lori, get fucked, man. I'm done with you.
And like her dad like took Lori in, and like Annie like, you know, was pretty brutally fucking hurt and shit. She was almost on the verge of death whenever Lori came in at the end of the first one. I thought, honestly, it took me a few times to watch that movie before the second one came out that I even realized that Annie didn't die.
Right.
I thought that she was dead, and then like they showed her in the second one, because after she's like naked and she's grotesque and she's just fucked up laying there, I guess the assumption is just, oh, she's dead.
Like,
but then she's in the second one.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what the fuck? How the fuck?
Like all
Yeah, you're like,
stitched
what
up.
the fuck?
Like, we retconning this? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was the death of that series that like shattered me. I was like, well, fuck you, man. You had her survive this horrible attack in the first one.
You're like,
Then she just sees him again.
Whenever
and
she
gets fucked
sees
up.
him again, that scene's fucked, because it's like it's such a build up, and they talk about him, and then all of a sudden,
It's
like on the 30th,
is this another just like flashback, or am I actually seeing?
Right.
on the 30th, like he shows up there, like in the into Halloween and everything, and like it's just whenever the moment finally comes, it's like slow motion, and she like just looks over, and it's like a fucking traumatizing
like,
moment.
fuck.
It just tries to get away, and all you hear is like the camera pans off. They almost did that perfectly though, because it was such a lead up and like remembrance of the 2 years before and what happened and everything else. And so like the moment that she sees him again, it's like slow mode, and then it's like pulled away from her, and then it's just you just hear her screaming, and then like it's Lori and her friend entering the house.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck, like what happened? Like she survived the first time, and she shouldn't have. There's no fucking way she's coming out this time.
It was definitely a nice touch though that Zombie like cast Danielle Harris too.
Yeah.
To be Annie in those movies, because she was Lori and Jamie in 4, 5, and 6.
I think she was just in 4 and 5 though, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in 6.
Yeah, because they needed her to get older and stuff, and it was removed from that time, but she still wouldn't have been that old.
Yeah.
But it was kind of wild because she was like playing, like the not even gonna shit on like 6, because honestly, even though some people do, I prefer 6 to 4, 5, 3, fucking Resurrection, almost a lot of those, and Halloween Ends. I would put 6 over all of those that I just named. But
I do like you got your guys' takes. I've got some opinions.
I mean, I've got opinions. I'm just like,
no, man.
Maybe you're wrong. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, everybody's got opinions.
I mean, 6 would kick all those ones I named.
I mean, I got some hot takes of a lot of things.
But the mask looked terrible in 4. The storyline was piss poor in 5. Resurrection, we don't even need to talk more about that. That was a shithole and a half.
Hey man, Buster Rhymes karate was top notch in the movie.
It is a little bit like the horror comedy film within the Halloween franchise.
It was so good.
If you want to take it as that, I don't know if that was intentional though. That's the thing.
See, Freddy is Dead and Jason Goes to Hell were the worst in their respective series, in my opinion. And Jason Goes to Hell was even worse than Jason X, because at least Jason X took it a way different
worse
direction.
Than Jason Takes Manhattan, you think too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That Jason Goes to Hell, but he didn't even go to hell.
Jason Takes Manhattan though. goes on like half an hour too long. It's
Well,
like this
from the
movie
start of the
does
movie,
not
it goes
need to
on
be
too
too
long.
long.
At
Movie
least
didn't need
Jason
to
Takes
say.
Manhattan was like a change of scenery. Honestly, in my opinion, if you have a change of setting, that gives you a point for trying something new in a lot of respects. I'm not saying it puts you up as one of the best. I'm saying it puts you a little ahead.
Hold on.
But Jason Goes to Hell, it makes you think that he actually, he's like in a bunch of pit of fire and he actually goes to hell and shit. That would have been really cool.
Right.
It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But honestly, that's how bad Resurrection was. Because I think it was even worse than Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy's Dead.
I mean, yeah, Resurrection.
Freddy's Dead was better than Jason Goes to Hell.
Dude, Jason Takes Manhattan, my main complaint with that movie is I'm like, that sounds dope. Jason going to New York City and fucking things up. He spends the whole movie on the boat.
I mean, it's close to Manhattan, so...
He's in New York half an hour.
Maybe he goes to Long Island for a split second, you know?
Jason kind of, sort of,
It's like-
adjacently takes Manhattan.
Yeah. I mean, at least they're there a little
Takes
bit, I guess.
Manhattan in due time.
In due time.
Because they don't ever
He's
go to
waiting it
hell,
out.
so at least they actually end up in Manhattan.
At least he's there for a second.
The best part of Jason Goes to Hell is whenever Freddy's glove pops out at the end of the fucking movie and he grabs the mask. It's the best part of the movie.
Jason Goes to Hell is definitely wacky. I kind of want to watch it again.
I don't know if I'll ever watch that piece of shit again.
Just to
Although-
see if my opinion changes more.
That's a
on
big
it.
statement because I did watch Resurrection a few times because we showed it to Strip Club Gene. We watched it probably at least 3 times each. But we watched it.
That is 3 times too many, sir.
Well, I needed to see
Time of my
everything.
life.
I needed to
Spend
see
all
everything at least once. You know what I mean? Like I needed to watch all of the.
Fair.
I kind of want to watch. I think I've only really seen Jason X-ish, maybe like one whole time, but I don't even know for sure if I watched it one whole time all the way through.
Really?
So I'm like, I need to. But what I had seen of it, I was at least more entertained because it had a different take.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it was great, but it became one of those like cult horror
Right.
movies. So at least in that respect, it was better than Jason Goes to Hell.
Mhm.
But you know, I don't know. Some of those were kind of rough.
Speaking of the rough, how do you feel about Freddy versus Jason?
It wasn't perfect, but it was for a clash of 2, ultimate like slashers. I thought it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was fine.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was by far not the worst of their franchises.
Oh, of course, not the worst.
I feel like I've lessened how I like it more and more as the years go. But it's definitely not near the worst of either of the franchises.
Absolutely not.
It's at least middle of both the franchises.
Yeah,
to be
I'd
honest.
put it about dead in the middle, probably. Both.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's passable. It definitely. I don't know really though what.
Better or worse than
What-
Alien versus Predator.
Which one? They're both got awful.
Oh, I never actually. That's not. I mean, that's a fair.
A lot of
question,
people
but-
say Requiem is just fucking garbage, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
It was fine.
I mean,
didn't hate it.
I'm not saying it was good, but like whenever I watched it, I was like, I don't know how people are saying this is like the fucking worst movie ever made.
I
You know?
mean, it was what it was.
Yeah, yeah. What do you're not gonna get fucking Oscar worthy movies out of the second Alien versus
I
Predator.
mean, I'm not expecting Oscar worthy, but I'm also expecting not complete dog shit. I mean, after the first one, you're not also maybe expecting a little dog shit.
Yeah, the first one though wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, it was
wasn't bad.
fine for the time it was in.
Yeah.
I think if they made it again now, especially after like all the remakes they're making, like Alien's coming out, and another one's coming out soon, and then like Prey.
Yeah,
I know Prey was really good, so like
it was really good.
if they do shit like that now, maybe better. But
I definitely think I've seen Freddy vs. Jason a lot more
Oh yeah.
than Alien
Oh,
vs.
yeah.
Predator, but
for some reason, it's always one that I always come back to during like Halloween time.
It's
Like
That's the
I
thing.
don't mean to.
it's like a penultimate slasher though. There's
Freddy,
got 2 of them in it.
Freddy versus Jason feels, even if it's like some of it's funny and it's not all that to be taken seriously by any means, it feels like something. It's always on in October and always was the last 20 years. So it feels like it's necessary to go back to. You're like, oh, this is. It's kind of the epic, fight between 2 of the major slashers. It makes sense.
20. Don't fucking say it's 20 years
It's
old.
fucking 21 years old.
Fuck me. I remember when that movie came out. Don't say 21.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh man, what did you think of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake?
It was fine. It was what it is. It's not.
I just think they could have done something. This is my opinion. I don't think Jackie Earle Haley. The difference between him and playing Freddy is astronomically different between the guy that fucking took over to play Michael or the guy that took over to play Jason.
Right.
You don't see either of their faces.
Right.
They don't even necessarily have to be somebody certain.
You don't
to
see
do a
their
good job.
faces. They don't talk. They just lumber and stab. When you're
So-
taking over Freddy, you gotta have quips. You gotta.
That was Robert Englund.
You gotta look
You
the
gotta
part.
be the character.
Right. You
Yeah.
are the movie.
Yeah.
Like Jason, like you're.
Those are
movie
harder
guy.
shoes to fill.
100%.
And I mean, Friday the 13th fans, and I'm one of them, but some people are like, way too pretentious about this series. I'm like, this is like schlocky slasher movies. Like, people are being like, oh, this fucking Jason was way better than this Jason. I can't believe they fucking didn't use this. And I'm
the
like,
way he slashed
bro,
that machete, so much better.
is it really that big of a difference?
Like,
though?
I think we need to calm down.
I like the Nightmare series a lot, and I think he did a decent job. But you know what I think they would have benefited from is the same reason why I think personally the Friday and Zombies Halloween were better than the Nightmare one, because in a lot of ways I like Freddy more than Jason and Michael, even though I like all three of them. But the fucking remake I thought was the worst out of the three was the Freddy one, because at least the other two took chances and they made them different than the originals drastically.
Right.
The Nightmare one stayed too close to the original, and everyone knew it wasn't Robert Englund. So why would you stay that close to it?
Right. No, if you're gonna do something and like have Freddy act a completely different way than his normal self, go away from the source material.
Yeah, make it its own take on Freddy.
Right.
That's why I think the Rob Zombie one got it right, and some people don't like either one of them. But I thought both of those remakes, for what they were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The Friday 09, the Halloween 07, thought they were fantastic.
Yeah, they were both really good.
Yeah, no, they were good.
The thing about the 2010 Nightmare too is the thing they did different, and I'm like, this is what you chose as the thing you did different. Is they're like, oh, we're really gonna lean into the pedophilia side of this. It's like
he actually did with the kids. Like, hold on, why can we have to do that?
Of all things, we're gonna really lean into.
You could have
the
like
pedophilia.
No, we're not gonna lean into the pedophilia at all. Something completely different. No, he diddled kids. Why?
And then they're like, well, wait, maybe he did it. You guys should feel sympathy for this guy. He got burned. He was the victim. And you're like, oh, really? And then they're like, nope, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Did it.
Yeah. I always
all the time.
We always laugh at that part where before Quentin and Nancy know like the whole information and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Gallner, who's in like every fucking horror movie, just to make this face. Just to make that face.
He's so sad.
Side note. But yeah, he's just like that one scene where he's just like, you tracked down, he's like, you killed an innocent man. It's like, first off,
you're remembering things now. I don't think he's innocent.
Like, I don't know about that.
Did you see the room you were in?
And
I
he's
don't know if
coming
he's
back.
He just stabs that adrenaline shot into his like leg. He's like, you want some? That scene with the fucking pharmacist, that was hilarious. He just gives him the bottle and he's like, just fill it up.
Fill it up.
Fill it up.
He's like, no.
He's like, come on, just fill it up. Man.
Just even if you put a few in there,
it'll be fine. I won't tell anyone. Just me and you.
It's like, but I can't do that. There's cameras on me. I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Turn them off. Turn the cameras off, then.
So, dude, you seem out of your mind. I'm not giving you more.
Please.
You literally had these for a week. You're not getting them.
please.
It's like his refills already say like no more and shit, and he's just like
It's like, for the love of God, don't give him more.
He comes in, just his eyes are just, he just looks out of his mind, and he's tired as fuck. It's like,
I don't know
think
how he
anymore.
was like, this strategy's gonna work.
They're like, I got this.
Probably sleep deprivation.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
probably
yeah.
it.
That's how I stopped this. No sleep.
Oh man, that was there were some epic parts of that. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say like I didn't see the other two in theaters, and I did see the Nightmare in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some cool parts, and like there were some cool and like the same thing. Not to compare it to this or anything, but like it's the same reason why. Not to go into horror like in that aspect, but like why I don't think that Jared Leto's Joker didn't work. It's not because of Jared Leto. It's because the script was not fucking good. It's the same reason the script in the Nightmare movie. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because Jackie Earle Haley did a piss poor job. I'm sure he did the best he could.
Mm-hmm. Right. If you just look at it in the scope of that, be like, he did as good as he could have with the source material.
With what he was given. But
like
it just so happened the script, it wasn't great.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't, and it didn't do... It wasn't even that it was bad. It tried to be too close to the original source material, and it didn't take any chances. No. And the same reason why some people hate the Friday or the Halloween for whatever reason is why I like it. They knew they couldn't necessarily replicate the same thing.
You can't go and make Michael Myers the same again.
So
if you're gonna
why not go a completely different direction?
Let's go off the rails and see what happens.
And I thought that zombie movie was hard fucking core. I thought that was a badass. Yeah. No matter what, even if you're like, that's not a great Halloween movie. Who cares? Like either way, it was awesome in a different way, and it was an awesome horror movie. In my opinion, even if you're like, it's not the best Halloween movie, it was a great horror movie. I thought,
and it was its own take. It didn't feel the same.
No, it didn't, and it felt gruesome and scary.
Either of his movies, never felt like the others.
The zombie ones are the ones I go back to the most.
They have a lot of rewatchability. Like, and the thing is like, I mean, we all love like the original Halloween, but like it's so praised and I'm not gonna say it's overrated because obviously none of it would exist without that one.
Right.
But it's so praised, it's almost become a cliche, and it's like, well, of course you're picking the original. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm like, I love two.
The blueprint for everything else.
Yeah. It's like the safe bet.
Yeah. So it's like, of course, it is that, but it's like. I want more than just that. It's like at base level, it's got everything like you want. It's like the scare factor, the creepiness, and everything. But it's like, that's why I like 2, because it takes chances. It's different. Like the zombie one, it's different. The 2018 reimagined the whole thing and was based off the original. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I look to those a lot because I'm like, I still, like obviously, you have love for the original and everything. And a lot of this wouldn't even exist without it, but it's, the other ones took it in such a different direction that it's interesting in a lot more ways.
100%, yeah. No, just the chances take it. And like, oh, cool, we're going to take this thing that was built a whole genre and like how everything is. We're just going to keep trying to reimagine it and try and do different things with it. Yeah. And I like that. Just doing the same thing over and over again. Like, what does that do? People get bored. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of franchises run into the problem with too. Like Halloween was bad for that. Friday. Kind of. So some of the movies were a lot different than other ones. Texas Chainsaw, like a lot of those series where they're just like, eventually they want to make more, but they're like, okay, what do we do? Let's go back to the original and go from there. It's like, all these movies don't take any of these other movies into account. You're just starting 17 timelines.
You're starting over again, but like you're doing the same thing from the first one again. You're starting over again, finding something new.
It's going to be so hard to like one of these years, like in 10, 20 years, it's gonna be so hard for these generations to understand where the story starts and ends, and what's the original story and what's the remake and what's
somebody trying to break into horror in like 30 years is gonna be like, what in the fuck?
It's like, you know what? You guys start here, but don't watch this one. But this one definitely you should watch.
Yeah, count this one. You should watch this one for reference, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It was
this is a good one. It's good, but
this is a good one, but I don't put it in the series with the others. But these ones are part of if you want to go with this timeline, you watch these ones, but this timeline, you watch these.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
It makes sense to us because we were still alive when they started, when most of these original series were still going on before the second, third, and fourth timelines or whatever even started, or remakes even started. So like we saw like that, and we also have a frame of reference. But like one day, man, it's gonna not make any sense because we're like, there's 30 of these motherfuckers. I don't know where anything.
Like, oh, should I just start with the first one? Well,
yeah. Well, is this It's
it's
a lot of things are gonna look like a commitment though. If people want to watch them like way later, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I want to watch the MCU movies." They're gonna be like, "Fuck, I gotta watch 21."
I have to watch 21 movies,
everything
16 shows.
Everything's gonna look like the James Bond fucking series, where there's like 24 of them or whatever.
Yeah,
because Hollywood's like, this shit makes money. Let's just keep making this shit.
Right? It's like, oh, I should watch these Bonds. Well, yeah, no, those aren't canon to these Bonds, so you should watch this one. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. This is a fresh take. I don't like it as much as this take, but you should still watch this.
Still watch it. It's still canon, but like, you're like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Have to make a definition book just to like figure out what.
Right. It's like once you start getting into like, okay, you need to watch this one, skip this one, go to that. Like you're like, okay, maybe we need to fucking calm the fuck down with these things.
Yeah. It is kind of sad to think about because like, you know, you have a kid, you know, if we have kids and stuff, just different things where it's like, if you want to go back and show them things or stuff, like, it's like, there's no way I'm going to get them hooked on something for 20 movies. They're not going to
be like,
stay in
okay, let's sit down and watch these movies. Like watching the Lord of the Rings movies. Like, let's watch the Lord of the Rings. Actually, we're going to watch the extended versions because they're better.
Yeah.
Like, they are better.
I know they're better, but like no kid's going to want to sit there and watch 4 hours for a movie.
You got to wait till they're a teenager.
But
by then they don't want to hang out with
If you watch 10 of some franchise, it's going to be just as hard.
My girlfriend came and sit through a full one. Like, how makes a fucking teenager going to sit through a 4-hour movie?
Yeah. It's, yeah, you got to be really into and dedicated to something to sit through it for 4 hours.
Right.
But it's the same thing if you watch 8 episodes of something.
6.5 hour pay-per-view.
Right.
It's the same thing if you watch 8 episodes back to back to back to however many.
Yeah.
I don't fucking do that either.
You can get caught in a binge cycle if you have the time. Like I don't really find the time for that shit anymore. I'm in such a happy place if I can find that time, but
that's why it's hard.
I would say like I kill the whole fucking day.
I would say like a decent range is like 4 episodes of something, or like a 2-hour movie. Obviously, that most people are willing to sit through that. I'm not saying every day or even whatever, but most people are willing to like do that. That's why like most movies over 2 hours. You know, it's kind of like, well, it's got to be a really enthralling story, or like, you know, a series if you're binging it. It's like, because most people you wouldn't think are going to sit down for like that many. I mean, if you're a diehard fan, of course you will and everything. But most people, I think that's probably fair. Like, you might sit down and watch a few episodes, but I wouldn't think most people, you know, if they have a normal day or like their day off or they're, you know, whatever, going to watch 2 minutes in one sitting. Maybe you'll take a break and go do something for 5 hours and then come back and watch more.
Right.
But most people watch 2 hours of a movie, 4 episodes of something, whatever, and then they'll want to, you know, move on and do something else.
That's like my problem. Like, I'll just turn on the same shit I've watched 100 times and just keep it on as background noise. It's like not wanting to commit to something I want to like watch because I'm gonna have to get hours and invest into it. It's like I don't have the time for that.
Yeah, it is hard sometimes. Or I'll be like in the mood. I'll be like, all right, I got time. I'm gonna watch a show. I got an hour here before bed, before I want to get ready, you know. And then I'm like on my phone, 12 minutes into it.
Right. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I wanted to watch this. Why am I doing that? I just can't stay focused. It just sucks.
Some nights, man. We live in the age of technology, you know? We have too much shit around us at all times to entertain us. It's just so distracting.
Computer in a pocket. It's like one of those things, like, I fucking do anything on this thing. Like, and like the show starts, you're like, fuck it, let me just scroll through Facebook and Twitter.
Too. And you're like, And that's the thing. If you watch something, you're like, oh man, I know that actor. And then you look up what they're in and what you know them from, and so like no matter what, it goes back to your phone.
Right, and like 20 minutes, you're like,
it's like, oh man,
you've been on IMDb looking at this actor.
Yeah.
Shit, you're like, fuck, I'm watching a show. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's
Or you're watching one of your favorite shows or something, even, and you're like, fuck yeah, and then you're like, yeah, come to think of it, like, I'm going to look up some of my favorite episodes of this. You're like, why am I not watching what's on right now?
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
You just go down a rabbit hole out of curiosity, and it just takes you into that place instead.
It really does.
It's like Gary Vee said, the TV's the radio and the phone's the TV. Now it's like in a lot of ways, and he said that years ago. Yeah. But it's like that's kind of true because that's where your focus kind of went. And like now you look around anywhere, even adults, whoever, like they're all on their phones versus almost anything else.
It's like phones, iPads, just all that, just right there.
Because it's like.
I mean, I still watch a lot of new movies, TV shows. I still do catch a lot of new shit, but it is a lot easier to not nowadays for people.
Well, as in it's like the primary device in your life.
Yeah.
Like the 80s and 90s.
You take it with you everywhere.
Oh yeah, like the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s, basically any time before smartphones and streaming, the TV was still the main primary device. But now it is absolutely, like you look around anywhere and it's everybody's on their phone. Like, just everybody. You can't even fucking, But, I don't know, man. I'll always go back to, like, the theater because I love seeing movies there, man.
The theater is just something special about it. Going to a movie theater is just seeing something, it just brings something out of you.
Yeah.
I want it to survive, man, for as long as it can.
Right? God. And once COVID happened, I was like, God, I hope the theaters don't shut down.
It's just over for them.
I was like, God. Everything's on streaming. You're like, I just hold out a little longer.
Yeah.
Because like it's just an experience. And like drive-in movie theaters, like I don't know if you guys been to one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like even that's like a fun experience. And like.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best way to view a movie, but it is an experience. It's an experience.
Like, I think there's one I know of around, and I'm like, fuck. Just something to have, like, that experience, be able to show your kids one day.
Yeah, drive-in, I do have, like, some childhood memories of the drive-in. They are a good time.
Yeah, no.
But, like, the last few times I've went to, it's just like, dude, it's kind of a bitch to get out of here sometimes.
Right.
And also freaking Cheatham. I think it was Cheatham. No, it might have been, we might have taken somebody else's car, I don't know. But whoever's car we took, we had to leave it partially on to hear the radio, so the shit died.
Yeah, that's all. Someone's car always fucking dies at the drive-in.
Then you gotta go get the starter, like, you gotta, like, borrow it from the people there.
Yeah, you gotta go borrow it.
And sometimes they're like, oh, we gotta wait, because our 4 starters are already taken, because this happened to everybody.
It happens all the time. Simpler times.
That's a damn shame, man. No, the one time, I'm trying to think, I might have only been to the drive-in once, and we saw, like, this is in, like, 2010, and I think I saw, like, I think it was, like, maybe it was, like, the 4th Shrek, and, like, the 3rd Toy Story, with, like, my mom and my sister.
It's like a delightful time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was, like, well, I mean, they were old school fucking, well, it sounds weird, because they were, like, already on sequel number 3 and 4 and whatnot at that time. I don't really remember the Shrek that much, but I remember, like, watching. I mean, like, I remember that we saw both of those back to back.
The Shrek Forever After or some shit like that.
Forever, yeah. So it had to be a play on. Aren't they making, like, a 5th one or something like that?
Something like that. I remember hearing about it.
Damn.
Dude, Shrek became a smash hit in the meme world.
Smash hit.
I don't really know why, but, he did. It's kind of hilarious.
It's amazing.
I still think that first one was the best one, though.
Yeah.
I feel like I liked 2 the most, because Puss in Boots came in 2.
I'm a little partial to 2. Something about it, I like it a lot.
Like, but the thing is, Shrek 1, man, it had the best soundtrack, and it wasn't even close.
That
Oh, it
wasn't
was fine.
even close.
Lord Farquaad was a great villain
I
too.
know. It had like all that. Well, Shrek 2, the thing about Shrek 2 is it set like some, because of the success of the first one, it set like it was the highest grossing animated film for a long time, for like well over, I think, 10 years or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It just, the story is just way more memorable in the first one. Because it was like something, it like took every, it couldn't really use their names, but everybody knew who the characters were supposed to be because it was DreamWorks, but it was like Disney characters and everything all in one. It's kind of interesting looking back that they even did that because they made like a parody out of that.
Right.
And, it became successful. Kind of crazy. Chris Farley was supposed to be Shrek.
Oh, yeah.
You see that shit?
Dude, he seemed like he would have made a great Shrek.
But he would have 100%.
That voice and that, like, he would have looked different and everything. That would have been fucking awesome.
Crazy.
But
another great talent taken too soon.
I know. 27 Club.
Yep. Yeah, I was just
Not
thinking
good.
about and talking about Tommy Boy and Beverly Hills Ninja like the other day.
Classics. Classics. Oh, God.
He was such a physical actor.
Oh yeah, physical comedy as hell.
Yeah.
Dude, you seem like you're like, dude, you need to chill out. You're gonna have a fucking heart attack.
Right.
Just like doing a bit, like
Right, it's insane. He was so good at it.
just like so coked up, just red fucking
Explosive,
face,
ready
shaking his
to
head
go.
around.
Oh man.
Yeah, that dude was a trip.
We haven't even scratched the surface. We haven't even picked your brain about fucking WrestleMania, have we?
Or wrestling in general.
Wrestling in general, no,
A
nothing.
lot of wrestling.
You guys
Going
want
on.
to take a quick break and come back in, and we'll start with the segment, and I'm sure we'll throw some wrestling out there in the midst of it.
Sounds like a delightful time.
Alrighty, well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. Stick with us. This is Alex on episode 133. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And it is now time for some good, the bad, and the shits. And believe it or not, even though it is Alex's third appearance on the podcast, it is his first time on the segment.
It is. I'm excited to see how this goes.
So I believe we were about to dabble into a little bit of wrestling before we went to break there.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's new.
that is new. That is
We
new.
never talk wrestling with guests.
It's pretty impressive that we went over an hour the first part and we didn't even speak like really a lick of wrestling at all.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's now time. Like
Oh,
you got your grace period. You got your break.
We gotta talk.
Enough's
Yeah,
enough. We haven't seen you since before Mania.
Right? It's been a minute with
So-
SummerSlam, so
Overall, before we even jump in, though, I mean, like, were you satisfied with this year's WrestleMania?
maybe about as satisfied as you can be. I mean,
Was there a little bit of letdown there
I
in
wouldn't
a
say
way?
it's a letdown. I would say like you're always hoping for like something huge and spectacular because it's WrestleMania.
Yeah,
It's one of those things. I think the whole leading up to it kind of got weird with the whole Rock coming in back and like the whole I'm gonna take Cody's spot. Actually, I'm not. And it's like very weird thing. But like I think Cody finally doing the end of his story. And then them overbooking it to hell, which was, I feel like, the only way you could end that.
Mm.
Just because, like, how they've had Roman's title run, all the run-ins and everything, and just having, like, okay, we're just going to put everybody in. I think that's a good way to end it. Yeah, no, I thought it was probably a better one in recent memory, so yeah.
I think, like, they did the best they could to pivot off of what was about to be probably a mistake if they had gone through with what they were wanting to do.
Right.
And if Vince was still in charge of things, he might have just said, fuck 'em, and just, like, went through with Rock Roman. And, like, not, just to clarify, too, not that that's a bad main event, but, like, after you build this up and make people believe and want to see Cody finish it, and, like, it's become cliche, like, to finish the story, I mean, we talked all fucking about it
All
the
the
last
fucking
year.
time, right.
But after you get them to believe in it and want to see it finished and layer and build and build and build this story to eventually see the end of Roman's reign, pun intended, that's what you expect. And then it's almost like if not only is like that a pivot off of Roman and Cody, it pulls out the rug from what they've been building this whole time. And at the same time, you know that if Rock faces him and he still has the belt on him, that's another Roman victory and probably another year or two with him with the title.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no, like, I don't see you putting the belt on Rock because that would be fucking dumb at this point.
He's the one to end the reign.
He's the only one.
God, that would be insane. And, like, if they wanted to do The Rock, why have Cody win the Rumble?
Yeah.
Like, you had this whole build, and you're like, cool, he won the Rumble again. He's going to win it. He's going to Mania, he's going to win it, it's going to be perfect. And then they're like, actually, maybe not. And you're like,
maybe he faces Seth.
Why would he choose?
Why would he win
Why would
the
he
Rumble again?
You don't need to do that. You could just win a random number one contender spot. No.
Yeah.
You won the Rumble for a reason. Let's continue this.
It would have felt 100% like, well, I couldn't beat him last year, so let's not even challenge him this year. That almost just makes it feel, and like obviously we're talking about it like if this is hypothetical and what we had seen wasn't what happened. Mm-hmm. But for a minute there, it was. I see what you mean about like it got a little weird, like as in. But I think that's because they were basing it off of audience reaction. Right. And they were thinking at first, oh, maybe this is the way to do it. And then they're like, no, people are kind of in. Yeah. But like within a little bit of time, within a few days, they took that video right off YouTube because a lot of people were like disliking it.
They had Dwayne come out and like hint at it, and people were like excited about it. And then once like people, I guess, started like realizing, oh wait, no, we don't want that. Like it started getting.
It's like, oh, you mean at this WrestleMania?
No, I thought you meant like later. No, thank you. It definitely backfired real fast after people, I guess, started realizing more of it, and like it felt like, oh, it's going to happen. And I think people were like, actually, let's not do that.
Yeah. It definitely would have had a lot of backlash if they, and like under the Vince era and stuff, he would have been like, "Fuck it, we're doing it.
We're gonna do. Put it on the Rock. It's fine."
He's like, "The Rock. He's still gonna draw the numbers. He's gonna draw the eyes.
I like
put him in the main event."
How they gave the Rock his little like paper championship. That was nice.
Yeah. It's like Muhammad Ali's family gave it, so he's just like carrying it around.
Like, oh, I got the title, guys.
He's like, the Rock knows what you were thinking. Like, but that's the weird thing, because he said Muhammad Ali is who? His wife, or was it his widow or something? Or somebody gave,
something
I was going to say it. Yeah. But, like, I don't know. Was that, I don't even know.
It was the People's Championship.
Was that, like, genuine, or was that, like, do you think The Rock just felt like he needed something in his hand whenever Roman,
I think The Rock needed something in his hand.
He's like, and even when he came out today...
Bro, The Rock does some things sometimes, and I'm like, dog.
The whole
the ego's on the ass.
The can't lose in like his movie contracts. Like, what are we doing, dude?
But whatever. Why? But that's the thing. It's like, how are you supposed to feel bad for like a character in a movie, or like a root for them to face if somebody's gonna not face adversity? Mm. It's the same thing.
You just want to be a badass action star.
But it's like the same thing for like trying to get a baby face like just a face over. Mm-hmm. If you don't have sympathy for him, then who cares?
I don't even give a shit. He single-handedly ruined the DC cinematic universe.
I don't know if it was him. I think it was like. I mean, I'm not saying I'm sticking up for Black Adam. I'm just saying, like...
It sounds like you're sticking up for Black Adam.
It
sounds like you were the only Black Adam fan. Right now.
Oh my god. No, like, they made a catastrophe of bad decisions. We all just dissed the fucking Suicide Squad script earlier.
Sounds like you're a big Black Adam fan.
That's exactly an Alex comment, did he? It sounds like you're the only one that showed up in theaters.
It sounds like you were a big fan of Morbius too.
Hey, he saw that. Yeah, actually, wasn't that Marvel?
Yeah, it was Marvel.
Yeah, I was gonna say
different company. I know what I'm doing. They're still bad movies.
It wasn't even. I mean, it was what, Sony Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, still bad movies.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Sony Spider-Man universe has really made a lot of good ones though.
Well, they
A lot of
haven't
people
made
have just
that
bitched.
many of them.
They made the same Raimi ones.
Yeah, the fucking Toby ones
Yeah.
were dope.
Well, that's
Yeah.
you know.
But now they got Venom.
And they made the Into the Spider-Verse
people
and the
bitched
Cross the
about
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, those were cool,
Those are
but
good.
now it's like they're trying to do the Sony Spider-Man
Okay.
universe with like Madam Web and Morbius.
75% of their movies have been at least good.
Yeah,
Probably.
but I guess it's recent history
Superhero.
hasn't been great.
Yeah, I would say 75 is a good number.
See, I thought the most recent Spider-Verse was good, but I also thought that went too long. It went too
And it didn't give you a
Long.
proper climax.
Yeah,
and,
because it was,
and no climax.
it was
Yeah.
the
But
sequel
you're
was
gonna
supposed to be
make,
released.
but you're gonna make a 2-hour and 20-minute, and this is important by the way, animated
Yeah,
movie,
That's what it was.
animated movie,
and
you're
weird
not,
animation.
and you're not going to give a fulfilling third act.
Well, they were supposed to have the sequel come out.
But what did
Right
you do
away.
in 2 hours and 20 minutes?
You're just
They
gonna
built
leave it
up
on
this
a
movie
total
and this
cliffhanger.
fucking cinematic masterpiece. I will die on this hill.
No, it was. I'm not saying it wasn't great, but how do you make 2 hours and 20 minutes of an animated film and not give a proper third act?
This movie's fantastic. How dare you?
It was.
First one was better. That's real.
I don't like. I don't know. I mean,
The first one was more satisfying to me.
but at the time they probably also didn't know if they were gonna make more.
The second one
or
did
less than
expand into the.
It did.
I
verse
feel like
more,
if they
though.
didn't have to delay the second part of the second movie, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But since they had to delay it to a whole nother year, people are like, "Fucking what?"
Wait a minute. Is the third one supposed to come out this year?
It was supposed to come out this year, or it was supposed to come out last year. When did?
Oh my! It was already like fucking 4 years between 1 and 2.
Right?
What are they
Yeah.
doing?
Fucking, I don't know. Take it with Sony. They're too busy re-releasing
these are your
Morbius.
boys.
They're trying to fucking rake in the money. If you
Yeah.
release the whole franchise within 3 years, it's over.
Actually, I had seen that they're like whenever
Like,
they all
fuck, we gotta
chased,
delay. It's gonna be 2 more years.
whenever they all did that chase at the end with all the different Spider-Man. I heard that took like years to like do that.
You know, that definitely was like a long process for that movie.
No, it was great. I'm not lying. I'm just saying like
No, I get it. It's not Black Adam, so it's not your thing.
I just didn't get why why it was necessary to go that long, and there still wasn't an ending that was like, if you're gonna do that, make it an hour 40. Why'd it go 2:20 and you still
It
didn't
did,
have a
it was
proper
long.
ending?
It was a long.
Don't die on the hill. This was a fantastic movie.
It was a fantastic movie,
I loved every minute of it. I don't care that it was 2 hours long.
but it was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
It could have been 2 hours
was a
21.
long
I don't care.
fucking movie, man. For being that kind of animated movie, it was like, holy shit, man. This is like Martin Scorsese length of film.
It was building
What
up
are
for
we
like a
doing?
big ass battle at the end, and I was like,
And
is
you're
there enough
gonna
time?
get it. Just wait.
It better be one hell of a battle.
It's gonna be amazing.
He's like, I didn't expect to get this upset tonight.
Here we are.
So you guys dropping your ridiculous takes in the first half, and now shitting on my movie in the second.
Like you come in here talking about how great the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are.
Yep. Halloween 6, fucking tremendous. You know, I honestly don't even know if I believe that. I just think it's better than the other pieces of shit in the series.
I mean, fair.
There was a lot of shit in that series.
Yeah, but probably less of it than the fucking Friday movies and
I disagree.
I do not know about that. There was
I'm-
some shithole fucking
Oh,
Friday.
there
13th
were, but
movies.
I would go back and rewatch
There was for
them and
sure
enjoy
more
them
of
for
them.
now.
There was for sure more of them than there was in the fucking Halloween series.
But it was self-aware, you know? I feel like at a point they were
You have to
like,
give them
these
that.
are kind of cheesy and goofy.
Yeah, Wes Craven at that point was just like, fuck it, another one.
Goddamn. I guess we were talking about WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, yeah, what about
So, okay, so some of the good things, though. We were talking about, I mean, you know, what was your favorite match from the whole thing? I mean, did it feel like Mania night, like, did you like the tag match in the main event of night one?
It was fine.
It ended up being the longest match of Mania
Yeah.
by like fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, it was fine. Like, I wasn't I don't know. I think Brock did.
People said they were a little bit disappointed by it, but
I
The
think
tag?
yeah.
Why? Because the Bloodline won?
No,
They
just
were
because
gonna
they were
win.
like,
No, no,
oh,
I
it didn't seem
figured-
that exciting. They were
I
just punching
figured-
each other around the arena, blah, blah, blah.
I think it's just I don't care about Dwayne being back, so that kind of put a damper on everything for me. So I'm like, I don't care.
Oh,
I
damn.
don't care about.
You didn't
this.
like the final boss?
I don't like the final boss.
I thought it was kind of cool seeing
No, it was cool.
all of them in there together.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It was a really.
He was kind of like, it was funny though, because Rock had maybe the best entrance of the weekend, you know?
Yeah.
Like with the like Brahma bull that got lit on fire on it. It was just like, he does just feel like he has this aura about him now when he shows up to things where he's like, oh, I gotta be the fucking shit.
I gotta be the
It is-
center of attention and all
it is
about
like-
me.
It is like I get it though. I mean, I'm not saying I get it and like that's what he should, but like, because he comes from being.
He's a legend.
Yeah, he is, and he's been in a lot of big matches, and he is like one of the top drawing, people in Hollywood. So it's kind of like he can't be like downplayed, and he does help the product out in terms of viewership.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, to what extent should that be? That's what's crazy about wrestling, man. Because no matter what you've done anywhere else, the crowd, the 20,000 or 15,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 people are gonna react the way they're gonna react. So like, if they fucking don't like it, no matter who
They
you
don't
are,
give a
no matter how
shit.
much
Yeah.
money you have, or if you're a billionaire, or if you got a fucking $100,000 to your name or whatever, like they're gonna interpret everybody exactly how they want.
Mhm.
It doesn't even matter what you've done outside or inside the ring. If they on that night don't feel you, they're gonna fucking turn on you.
They're gonna tell you.
Oh, yeah.
they
Like,
don't
that's what's
feel you.
crazy. Is like
Wrestling
nothing
fans,
else is
dude.
like that.
They're fickle as fuck too. It's funny. It's like there's people that they'll like, that they'll be like, yeah, like cheering, and a month later they're like, all right, I'm tired of it.
Okay, I'm tired.
Fuck you.
New shiny toy, please.
Don't you at
It's
least
so
like?
ridiculous.
Don't you at least like that he? Once they did pivot off of that idea, though, that he at least turned or leaned into being heel
I
versus
did.
trying
I
to be
was-
the savior Rock and shit again.
I was glad that he played into the role of like, okay, fine, I'll be the heel asshole, which was good. Like,
Oh man, that was legendary.
Yeah.
I was so
No,
happy
it was
to have
good.
a heel
Yeah.
Rock in the 2020s.
it was nice.
That's why.
I think it's just a whole getting this huge ownership stake in the company now, like with the Endeavor and everything, just like coming back and being like, I do what I want now.
TKO board member.
It's like, oh god, okay, we're doing this,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. I think it's
The rest of the
just-
time, it's like, I want to say shit too. This is
Yeah.
fucked up, man.
It's just
But see, bigger stars have always had more of a say-so over what they're able to say
Mhm.
and over, what I'm saying? That's always been the case, though. Like, if you're Cena or if you're Orton or CM Punk or, like,
Well,
one of
that's
the
what
higher
those other
guys.
guys and girls think, though, is they're like, well, how am I going to get over if I
No,
can't do this
you
shit?
should learn how to get over without having to use fucking cuss words first. Then you get the ultimate privileges of being able to do whatever you want. That's how I think it should go.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
But-
you shouldn't have to rely on, especially if for a lot of them, if you can't do it well.
fair.
Well, some people just can't cut a promo, you know?
That's what I mean. Some people operate better under scripted promos. Not everybody does, but some people do.
I just
The problem in AEW is like everybody has, and I never thought I'd say that. They have so much creative freedom that everybody thinks their shit is getting over, but like if everybody ends up cussing and saying some of the same stuff, it all ends up feeling like it blends
It's
together.
just a shit show because everybody's trying to do their
Yeah.
be the top shit, and nobody really cares about making the best show. They just want their segment to be the best.
And what's
you know?
weird is because of that, not like I'm trying to be like, oh, we should pick and choose and select who's, but you kind of, in a way, you kind of have to, because otherwise everybody ends up feeling kind of like the same person,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I think AEW does struggle with that. Like, they have an embarrassment of riches of talent, and they all feel, I wouldn't say the same, but like there's a good chunk of them. Like,
Yeah.
here's these talents, and here's the rest of them. So it's like, it feels like
you know who's like a real fucking pro, who's been there, and like, I mean, Bryan Danielson's been other places, Edge, Adam Copeland, like he's been, like, there's certain people that have been places that you're like, they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, cause I love AEW, but like, I know, like, as you're watching the product, you're like, okay, these guys know what they're gonna go out and do and how to do everything, and the other guys are like, we're just gonna try shit and see what happens.
That's a risk to try shit on TV. When some of them, it's not like, you know, like some of the Attitude Era matches and like the promos were improv, but this is guys and girls who have been wrestling for 10 and 15 years already.
Yeah.
Some of the AEW talent is on TV for the first time.
Yeah.
And they're trying shit.
Yeah. No,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of slip-ups with AEW.
Yeah.
And it's not even, like, I'm not even saying they don't put on great wrestling, because they do. You know, there's some great wrestling matches over there. It's just, there's a lot of areas where I feel like it's still lacking, and I'm like, you guys don't feel like you're trying to improve on any of this other stuff, almost.
There's an art to telling stories, you know, gracefully and at like an appropriate pace. You know what I mean?
Right.
We can get into my first topic because it kind of has to do with this anyways, if we want. I don't know if you guys heard, apparently in the recent press conference after Double or Nothing, Tony said that he'd be interested in making Dynamite 3 hours.
Fuck that.
So yeah, that is basically the question. What do you think about the idea of a 3-hour weekly Dynamite?
I think because they have 3 shows, I'm like, I don't need that.
Yeah, Rampage is pointless already.
It's Superstars. It's what Superstars became.
Yeah, like if they had like a more
you don't really have to see it ever.
Cohesive thing. Like I talk about this with my buddy Mossman all the time. Like they have stuff going on. They have good stories and everything, but like a lot of the time it's just like empty direction or like not a lot, and like a lot of it's just lacking in areas. And like with WWE, they've been doing it forever, and like they have creative control, like not creative control, but like they have like they have to get it approved, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But like AEW just feels like we're just trying anything, and like the trying shit thing is like when a lot of it doesn't work, they don't really pivot very well.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will, like the whole debacle with Punk when he was there. Like they pivoted mostly terrible with that. And like they could have probably avoided everything if they just pivoted in a good way. I think it's just a lot of like Tony's inexperience of running a wrestling company and all that, and just being like just being part of like one of the boys, and like I think wanting to be liked by everybody.
And this is like a dream come true for him to have people around him that he always wanted to. So he doesn't really want to tell a lot of people no.
Right. And like I love Tony. Yeah, I love like what he's doing for the wrestling business. I love everything about it. Like I love AEW. Like I think how like Mossman tells me, it's all we talk about all the time. Is like Triple H wouldn't like let this shit slide. Like if something like that happens, it get figured out because like he can draw that line of being one of the boys and then being the boss. And I think Tony's just one of those things like he can't put on the hat that he needs to put on. No. So I think having a 3-hour Dynamite would just poke more holes in already, I wouldn't say weak foundation, but like not as sturdy. Yeah, you would see more of the flaw that they have.
Theoretically, it would do good. It should do good for them as a program because it would give you another hour to tell stories with. You have such a depth in your roster that if people that you don't utilize as much as you should, like there's talent over there that I'm a fan of, and I'm like, oh, I really like him or I really like her, and you never see them, you know?
Right, like they just let Ethan Page walk. Like, he's a tremendous talent. Like, you could have been using him on Dynamite this whole time. And like, I think it's just a problem. Like, they have the 3 shows. They don't know what they're doing with Collision and Rampage, really. And like, I think if you do go 3 hours, you need to cut out one of those shows.
Yeah.
And I think Rampage would probably be the best one because I think the Saturday show's fine, so Collision could stay. But I think Rampage would have to go, and you would have to like get a better structure for how you're I guess, dealing with talent and dealing with the story structure of all of it.
Yeah, I feel like the thing that's really been annoying me recently with AEW though is that they feel like right now their back is against the wall like more than ever, and they're losing viewers and people are getting pissed at them, and just like a lot more people are coming back to WWE's side than once before. And at this moment now, they're like mouthier than ever. They're like they're just taking all the shots in the world. It's like, why would you now when you guys are severely getting your ass beat?
Yeah, it's so weird because like you can like lead up to like this massive pay-per-view, and like I went to Dynasty and everything, and like being there was amazing, and like you go to Dynamite the next week and you're like, oh, it's just regular, it's just whatever Dynamite. Like it just felt like nothing, or like lead up it was like felt not as huge as it could have felt.
Yeah, that's kind of the AEW's problem. It feels like is their weekly show really lacks, but then their pay-per-views deliver,
blow it out of the water. If they just did monthly shows, holy fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, which sucks because I like a lot of their talent they have, because it's all really good performers, and it just sucks that like they don't know what to do with some of them. Most of them.
Tony just keeps on forking out the money to sign more of them.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
That's the thing. I think like for continuity purposes, you need to long-term storytell, and like you should be in a position, kind of like how Dynamite felt, you know, a few years ago, whenever like Punk was there, and like, you know, they were still kind of building the first 2-3 years, and you know, it's like they're still a young company. But it's getting harder to make excuses for, I'm not saying they're going to be perfect or anything like that either, but like, it's getting harder to make excuses like, oh, well, they don't have this and this, but they've almost been around for 5 years.
Yeah, no, they just had their 5th anniversary.
They should be finding their footing to some degree.
They should know what they bring to it. I think, like, I thought, once they started doing, like, the Continental Classic, I'm like, okay, they're going to lean into, like, more of a...
There's too many fucking titles, that's the other thing.
They got a lot of titles,
Like, okay, they're going to lean into, like, the New Japan style and, like, more like that, and then they step back from that again. I'm like, okay, what the fuck are you guys doing then? I think they just need to find their identity and just stick to it. I think a lot of the time, like, again, when I talk to Mossman, it's like, they... Not like they copy what WWE's doing or anything like that, like, but it's a lot of, like, why do the same when you could be doing different? And stick out. Stick
to being the alternative, not trying to impersonate like what the competitor is or what you think will make you a good competitor. You can just be something different, and like that's your shtick. Right, and like they're gonna fucking get the money from Warner Brothers to keep airing on TNT and everything, so it's gonna be fine. It's just they just need to embrace the fact that they're alternative. They're the number 2. They just need to embrace the number 2 fact and be like, cool, we're gonna do what we want, and it's gonna be good. But I do think in order to keep, they can still be an alternative, but I think they can storytell better. Like, and one reason I know that is because like sometimes, you know, and I'm not saying like I watch every single Raw or SmackDown either, but I do know that like the stories have arcs and there's points that, you know, lead into one another. And like in AEW sometimes it's like, you can flip it on, and like there doesn't seem really to be an urgency. And I'm not saying, oh, this guy's coming back next week, because that's just a point of advertising, but that's not really, this is why you got to watch next week. That's just a one-off thing. How many times are you going to do a return, or this guy's coming back? This guy's coming back because he got hurt. This guy's coming back because of something else. Right. But there needs to be a need to tune in the next week. I think the best they were at storytelling was like the Hangman Page stuff. Was like when he like started, he was teaming with Kenny, they broke up, then he finally got the title. I think that whole arc was like really good and everything. That was a great long-term booking and everything. But like, you can't really point to a lot of other good ones they have. Yeah. Besides that,
Punk and MJF story was good. Hangman stuff was good.
It's like MJF becoming the top of the company, good, but like not a lot of other stuff you can pinpoint. Be like, oh yeah, this was a great story from AEW. But
they're kind of, they are better though if you're like a novice wrestling fan and you just flip on wrestling sometimes and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would be better for you to watch AEW because like WWE is, they're very big on like continuity. They tell stories that carry over, and you do kind of got to keep up. Like, yeah, they'll have a random match, but somebody will interfere a lot of times and fuck one of the guys over, and you'll be like, well, why the fuck did that happen? But you didn't know. Oh, well, this has been a story between these guys going on for 2 months now. You know, with you could turn on Dynamite and it's just, in a bad way really, but fun if you're a novice fan. Like, it's just chaos. Like, you'll go from like a great match between two guys just randomly to an awkwardly paced promo to Darby Allin with a flamethrower to like what the fuck is going on?
I think it caters to like the people who are like just getting into wrestling and don't really know what they want, and like the diehard like internet indie fans who are like, cool, I love Swerve from when he was fucking in GCW, and now I'm watching Swerve because I know what he can do, or I know what Will can do, or all that stuff. And so like I think that caters to those fans. And I think they're trying to like not fully cater to them, which I feel like just embrace it. Just put on fucking bangers all the time. You'll be fine. But,
yeah. You'll have they'll be kind of like, they'll have their niche kind of group. They won't, ever be globally huge like WWE, but they'll just have like the wrestling nerds will be real into it.
Just embrace the niche you're in, and that's all they need to do. And I feel like they're just not embracing it enough.
But yeah, they also have to be like, to be able to draw in enough viewers, be able to keep a relevant spot on TV, and to like, theoretically as a company you want to grow and get people to tune into your stuff, because eventually it's like, if you're just this one demographic, you're never gonna grow, They're in an interesting spot though, that right now is kind of the hump. It's like, are they gonna make it? Because 5 years is, you've been there for a minute, but you're not super established yet. You're still working out the kinks. Like,
you're a young company, but you're not a startup anymore.
No.
You've had
been
your
around.
cup of coffee. You're going for your second cup. You need to start figuring it out.
But Dynamite for 3 hours. I mean, here's the thing, like they're still around, and they still when is their contract like up or gonna be renewed? Is it the end of this year, or is it in October whenever they first launched Dynamite? Or
I want to say it's towards the end of this year, but I'm not 100%.
So like Warner Brothers Discovery thing. So what are they gonna like? Are they gonna switch off cable then?
No, the thing is like,
if they go to Discovery Plus, I'm out. I can't watch anymore.
The thing is like, have they proven that they can efficiently? I'm not saying in terms of still being on air, because they had a contract that they had to, fulfill. But have they proven that they can use 2 hours weekly effectively and grow their audience, or maintain the audience they have? Because they have less viewership than they had a few years ago. And I want to see them succeed, because it's better for everybody, and the men and women literally that we've met personally, that that there's more wrestling companies in the world that can create a like, why wouldn't you want that to exist?
Right, no.
But like, if less people are tuning in than they even were 1, 2, and 3 years ago, and they're only 5 years old,
right?
That's not a great sign.
Yeah, I think it's just definitely need to find what they want their identity to be.
Yeah,
and I think they still struggle with that.
They're kind of spreading themselves in too many different directions, and or at least putting off the vibe or the indication that that's what they think they are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't be this, but then be like, no, we're direct competitors to them, and like, you know what I mean? Because there's no metric that says, other than the fact that they have great talent. They have a lot of talented people, just like WWE has. I'm saying, so I mean, maybe the most competitive thing they have is their roster. But in terms of every single metric, live attendance, merch sales, live viewership, all of that, they're not competitive at all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously WWE. I'm not trying to say all that like that's new news to anybody. They've had a fucking multi-decade head start.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very hard, if not impossible, to ever reach that.
Right.
But
And
you can be
spanned across the whole world.
yeah, you can be
point.
something different and still have a, you know what I'm saying, and still grow your audience and still, you know what I mean?
Right. Like TNA has been the distant number 2 for the longest time.
Yeah.
And like they're still around because they know what they were about. So like I just think there's AEW needs to figure out what they want to be and just lean into it.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy is like seeing any viewership go down when they have this talented of a roster.
It's
It's
insane.
got more stars on it than ever.
Mm-hmm. It's
And-
insane.
You know what I mean? I mean, they may not have Punk or Cody, but like they have so many other, like they have Adam Copeland, Edge. Like nobody thought that was ever gonna happen.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
They
Like,
got they have Ospreay, Okada,
Mhm.
fucking Mercedes, who's Sasha, who's got a mic in her hands fucking too many times these days, for God knows what reason, because she sure as hell didn't get that experience at WWE. She knows how to wrestle,
Yeah.
but they've been tuning out whenever she's on the fucking microphone. You can look that up.
They've been tuning out half the show, I feel like, anymore. It's not all worth watching, really. Which is kind of a bummer to say, because when we, had the apartment, we'd sit down and watch
Yeah,
Dynamite.
we watched-
It was fucking
We watched
enjoyable all the way
Dynamite
through.
pretty much every single week for well over a year.
right.
Pretty much every single week.
And then
Again
at some
and
point,
again,
it just got to be to where it's like, I don't even feel like they're really telling stories on this show anymore. It's just kind of like random nonsense, and half of it's not even like, yeah, there's still at least one, if not a few, great matches on Dynamite most weeks, but there is a lot of nonsense too.
There's a lot of people, it seems like they're just off TV for whatever reason for like extended periods of
Yeah.
time. You're like,
Because they have
Yeah.
so many people.
Mm-hmm.
they do. Well, he went and hired everybody that was an ex-WWE person. I mean, and that's they carry the name credibility, a lot of them, because they've been at the biggest place, the biggest dance you can be at. But like at the same time, is it the right call to hire every single one of them and have no plan for them?
Right.
Well, Edge, do you think he'll just retire now? Because didn't he just break his leg or his ankle or
Broke
something?
his fractured. I know it was fractured.
Oh yeah,
his
it's like tibia, yeah.
I don't think he'll retire. I think he's having
like
too much
50
fun.
and he just.
I
it'll
think
be
he's
like
having
a
too much
minute.
fun. And he's enjoying it, and I think everyone in the back likes having him
Yeah.
there. So I think it's just. I think he'll stay and be fine.
He might. I just feel like it was also weird because it was like they're calling him Adam Copeland. I don't see it.
Well,
you know?
WWE owns the right to Edge.
I know, but it's like I'll always see Edge, and then also like this legend that I know is history, and it's like maybe he should take it a little easy. He's 50 years old now too, and this dude was out there every damn week busting his ass in a match. I'm like, man, they're fucking using him a lot, and he got.
I think that's just the problem. They have so many people, and they just use a rotating cast of the same talent, and that's one of the problems they are also running into. Like fucking Darby got hit by a fucking car, and he's like, "I'll be an anarchy in the arena."
Yeah.
Like you could have put literally anyone else there, but okay. And you have people who need to retire, like I don't know, Jericho. He's still doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Dynasty?
That was great.
I didn't go. He went. Randall went. Cody. I was gonna say. Didn't you guys?
I went
you
with
guys-
Cody, Randall, and then Josh from Market. And we had a great time. It was amazing. Like seeing Ospreay and Danielson live. Probably like one of the greatest things ever. Like it's like, whenever again are you going to see that caliber of match live?
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, no. But like I liked the whole show. I thought it was really good. Yeah. Like I said, they can put on a fucking banger of a pay-per-view. It's just the weekly show they struggle with.
But that's the problem too. Is all that talent. Tony's like, okay, we'll put you guys all on the pay-per-view. I'll buy 7 hours of pay-per-view time.
Right.
And then by the end of it, you're like,
Christ.
holy fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, I love great wrestling, but when we're going from promo package match for 7 hours.
Yeah, I was like, that.
Shit's, you get a little, your ass starts to hurt. You need to stretch. You want a snack. You want to do something else.
Like the Mania Kofi one before they went to 2 nights.
Yeah.
It was like
that was like 7.5 hours.
Yeah,
35.
I remember. I was like,
that was some
fucking
shit, dude.
Christ! Like, there's no. We could have cut like 6 of these matches, and like been fine. But no.
And it still would have been like 5 hours.
Yeah, like you still would have had a huge show. You just need some breather.
Yeah, I remember by the time we got to the women's triple threat, it was like thinking about Brock and Seth being on that night. It was like, that feels like that was fucking
Like
last week.
I was like, I forgot that happened.
That was 6 hours ago at this point.
I remember that Mania vividly, just how long it was. Because I remember getting over and watching the pre-show.
1 a.m. when it ended.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, it's the next day. Yeah, no, it was fucking insane.
Yeah, that shit was literally from like, the pre-show started at like 5 p.m. and it was over at like damn near 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was late. So what do we think though? Dynamite going to 3 hours, or the prospect of it going to 3 hours?
Overrated. I don't think they should do it.
Yeah, I definitely think it's overrated
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
I think
Should
you
not do it.
really need to get your 2 hour show done, and or maybe get that down and cut a show before you even think about adding a third hour.
Yeah, no, I think.
And I 100% agree with that. If you cut, and basically like if they still film Rampage the same night as Dynamite, or I don't know how they do it, which is what they used to do. It's basically like the third hour anyway. Why would you just cut it and don't air an extra show at another night of the week? If you boil it down to like 2 nights, that that makes the urge a little higher because there's not shows spread out the entire week like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they need to control what they have going first. I think you need to fucking take care of what's going on at home, before you worry about everything fucking else.
I think that's a big thing that like I always talk about with people is like, yeah, they do a lot of shots. Like maybe they should just focus on themselves for a bit.
Yeah.
Like some of it's warranted for like taking shots, but like at the same time, like didn't really do much after this shot, but okay.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's like some of them are just like unwarranted, just haymakers that are, and then it's like, okay, but you would get fucking squashed.
Yeah, it's like why
in any metric.
Why are we doing this?
We were saying,
we don't need to do this right now. Like, sure, if they say some shit about
just
you,
try to be
fine.
your own company right now.
Yeah.
Do your own thing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll throw mine out there. Mine's a superstar / mentor / he's a lot of things. But what do you guys think of William Regal?
Oh, bro, he's so underrated.
He's so underrated.
He's extremely underrated in my opinion.
Super underrated.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of the most underrated. Like when it just comes to overall talent within the wrestling business. Not that he was at any point ever one of my favorite wrestlers, but like he's done so much good for the inside of the business.
Right. It's like one of those things. I think like looking back on like growing up, you're like, oh, it's William Regal. Boo, William Regal.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking back, like I was just having this conversation, like John Cena. Like, for example, watching him his whole run, you're like, I guess Cena just go away. And then after he's gone, and you think about it, you're like, oh fuck, he did a lot.
Yeah.
And like Regal does a lot and like works with talent and like put on clinics. And,
Yeah,
like,
he's a great wrestling mind.
Yeah, he's just a fantastic wrestler. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And his thing is like every time you saw him in the ring in a backstage segment in his character, like he was always believable.
Mm-hmm.
His like facial expressions, his
Some of the shit
reaction.
was hilarious.
Oh, it was so funny. He knew regardless, it was easy to overlook because he wasn't the most colorful character by any means.
Yeah.
But like he knew his character down fucking to a T.
Right, and like
You know?
he could be funny, he could be
Unintended.
serious.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like the shit he did with Tajiri.
Or like whenever Chris Jericho pissed in his tea and he's like,
yeah.
Yeah, no,
his facial expressions were some of the best of all
Man.
fucking time.
God,
Yeah, he was good.
underrated as fuck with Regal.
He really was. And he's a mentor to a lot of fucking talent.
Yeah, just like
In AEW, because he was there for a little while, in WWE, like,
He could do comedy, he could put on a great match, and then later on, he became a great mind for younger talent coming up.
Yeah, I think his role in NXT, just like being like kind of like the general manager, but like also just being there to be able to teach the young talent. Like I think that's a perfect role for him. Just like being able to spread his knowledge to anyone and everyone.
And the thing is, obviously not take anything away from him, but I've heard too is like, oh, of course you're gonna listen to like some of like the biggest stars in the business, how to get over, how to do this, but it's kind of like in, baseball or football or like really, a lot of sports, a lot of things. Like sometimes it's not necessarily like the biggest and quote unquote best ones aren't always the best teachers. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the ones that like just know their craft that fucking well and like that make great teachers. It's not always, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think every big name would make the greatest teacher.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Hulk Hogan's one of, if not the biggest star of all time. I don't think he's going to tell you everything you need to know about how to work an in-ring match.
You know,
in terms
of he can
you know
teach
what I
you
mean?
how to like promo.
Yeah,
other than
yeah.
that.
Well, in character work and stuff like that, but like as far as there's a lot of things that you got to take from other people. And William Regal, regardless, he's really kind of covered the board. Like he knows how to work a match. He knows his character. He knows how to sell. He knows how, you know what I'm saying? Like he's got a lot of that stuff down. Like he can teach.
Right. And he always gave like 100% no matter what character, like what he was doing.
Yeah, he was never like the most interesting point of the show when he was around, but like his craft was always perfected in whatever he was doing.
Well, like if you give Regal match, like okay, I'm gonna watch a great wrestling match.
Yeah.
He had very
or if he had a backstage segment, you're like, I'm probably gonna laugh.
He had underrated psychology in the ring too. Everything had a reason too. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, 100%.
I'd say underrated.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
strong overrated and underrated so far. Alex, what do you got for us?
I don't have anything wrestling related. I'm gonna take it back before we start recording. Thin Mints.
Oh shit!
Because I'm still hot about this topic.
Oh,
Dude, I love a Thin Mint.
Are you?
God.
I'll probably be the only person at this table. You know what?
Oh,
I think they're a
don't
little
even say
underrated.
it. Oh, what? They're the most popular fucking Girl Scout cookie of all time.
I wouldn't even say that.
No, what is then?
You know?
It isn't
Any of the other
tagalongs.
ones.
No,
Like that.
A do-si-do.
no,
A
I
trefoil
any-
or whatever those shortbread ones
any,
are.
those are bullshit. Anytime anybody
Probably is a Thin
refers
Mints. Fuck, I
to
don't
Girl
know.
Scout cookies,
It's
they
Thin
bring
Mints.
up Thin Mints.
But you know what? They get shit on a lot.
No, they
because
they should.
because
Everybody-
they're popular. Because they're popular, I feel like I
And
hear
they're
more
ass.
people shit on them than talk good about them.
Who wants to
And that's
eat
the
toothpaste?
damn truth. It is just it's mint things. Any mint treat, I feel like I hear
It's
more hate.
chocolate toothpaste. Do you want
More
that?
hate. Yeah.
Fuck
I
that.
love
The
my
fuck
chocolate
you.
toothpaste.
Fuck your chocolate toothpaste.
Give me all the mint
Under
chocolate shit.
what? They're the highest selling of all time.
It's definitely not overrated. If anything, I'd say fair. You might talk me to a fair.
You're insane. They're the only Girl Scout cookie that has like off-branded stuff, like with ice cream and other cookies.
And it's all
Oh,
good.
man.
You know?
God, I'm gonna say overrated as fuck.
I'm another one of those people
I
that
figured it was probably gonna go that way.
I'm another one of those people that don't think you need to have fucking 415 candies in your ice cream. Just eat your fucking ice cream.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't
I
have
don't
to have.
like that shit either.
I'm not saying you can't have it flavored other stuff, but like it's like why do you need sprinkles and fudge and blah blah blah? You're gonna put all this shit in it. It's not ice cream anymore. It's some sugary ass shit. It's gonna rot your teeth out. You
Or
know,
the
it can't
ones
just
with,
be
like-
regular ice cream.
Oh,
I
we
guess
got cookies and brownies. in this
And
one.
brownies.
you don't eat all that shit.
And
I mean,
then
like-
Reese's cups.
It's just
holy
funny to me saying that. It's not gonna fucking get them to take it off the shelf.
No, because
But,
that
like-
shit sells like a
Oh
motherfucker.
yeah, people love that
But
stuff.
like, no, but it's not ice cream. It's just some other shit. You might as well just buy some candy bars. It's not what it is anymore.
That's,
It's candy with cream and ice cream in
I
it.
feel like it's
you don't
richer
ruin
than candy.
You don't fucking ruin the ice cream by putting all this bullshit into it.
Yeah, you definitely don't ruin ice cream by putting mint in it either.
Dude, mint ice.
I do like
cream.
the green mint ice cream every now and then. It's definitely
They're
not.
all wrong, so
It's-
mint
fine.
chocolate chip.
Would it make you feel better if I said it's not top 10? Because it's not.
No, it's
It's probably top
bottom
5.
of the barrel.
How often do you eat it? You eat like once a year.
Dude, I don't even eat ice cream that much. Honestly,
Best of all time.
I eat Blizzards the most time I eat ice cream. I feel like I don't buy ice cream from the store.
No,
really
I
much
don't
on my
either.
own at all.
I don't either. But whenever we were talking about your last meal, you didn't say pie, you didn't say cake, you didn't say cookies, you didn't say donuts, you didn't say candy. You said a fucking vanilla milkshake.
Well, milkshakes.
Who the fuck a vanilla milkshake?
No. I will stick up for
It
this.
was a lot of other stuff.
I will stick up for this.
But that's the thing.
Because a milkshake, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, whatever,
I will give you milkshake,
is
but a
fucking
vanilla
tremendous.
milkshake.
No, but vanilla's
milkshakes
honestly.
so fire.
I'm not vanilla. That's one of the things that actually gets shit on. It doesn't deserve it because, to be honest with you, most people's favorite is chocolate.
I'm
So
gonna say-
vanilla is pretty underrated in that sense.
When people describe boring and bland, what did they say? Oh, it's vanilla.
Okay, but that would indicate vanilla.
Boring and
That would
bland.
indicate that vanilla has no flavor. When in reality, the highest selling. I don't think it's the most popular, but the highest selling ice cream is vanilla. But that's also because it's the most versatile.
You can mix it in.
I
You
give
can
that.
use it
It's
for anything
versatile.
else.
I'm not doing on vanilla ice cream. I understand where it's placed in the pecking order. But a vanilla milkshake, you can
Okay.
put anything in a milkshake. You go banana milkshake, and that's a
Oh,
fact.
banana milkshakes. Banana ice cream is fucking tremendous, too.
Well, I think-
Exactly.
The reason I even said milkshake, I think I did throw donuts in there.
No,
Krispy
no.
Kremes?
You had one
I think I
dessert.
did.
You had one not for your last meal, no. You
Because
had one
The
dessert.
reason I
And
picked
donuts
the
is a
milkshake-
breakfast food for some fucking reason.
I
That's
would
not
love
a
them many
breakfast.
times.
But no, you said, I forget what you even said for your meal, but I know you said a milkshake is for your dessert because we all were talking about what your last meal would be, and I'm like, and see, I feel like that was an interesting fucking premise too.
It's definitely very interesting.
What? Well, I mean, like if it was tonight or tomorrow, you had an execution tomorrow, you did some fucked up shit.
Now I gotta go back and listen to mine, man, because I feel like this guy's lying to me about my
No,
whole last meal now.
no, you said that 100%. And besides, who the fuck, like, you're gonna choose ice cream because it's gonna kick all the asses of all the other fucking desserts. And there's not anything that's fucking close. You're
Ice
not gonna,
cream-
and that's the other thing. Chocolate chip cookies, they're fucking good, but they're goddamn overrated. That's the single kind that everybody always chooses for fucking everything, and it's not even close to the best kind of cookie.
It's fine.
It's the one everybody chooses for fucking everything, and it is so overused.
It's definitely Haley's favorite. I don't think it's.
It's the most cliche
I like
fucking cookie
Snickers.
of all time.
Yeah, I mean it's.
What's your favorite?
It is
cookie,
good.
then?
He
I
has a
honestly-
strong opinion.
I honestly
know.
no. It's good, but it's the same thing as like if you were to say chocolate or vanilla ice cream in like a oh well this is kind of
Right,
whatever.
no,
But it's
I
like
understand
it's
where
the
you're coming
old
from.
cliche fucking kind. It's like it's the same like what? You
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Right? Like when people think cookie, it's chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
I was
Like
curious.
honestly, like I don't really eat cookies that much. I don't know. There's different. I've had several different kinds. Like there's cookies that I've had that are chocolate with like those fucking with like marshmallows in them.
Mhm.
Those are fucking fantastic. Those cookies, and they're not like I forget what they're called, but they're like they're kind of like they got like an ice. They're like icing. It's like almost like cinnamon icing. It's not like a.
Oh, God, they're talking about like the sugar cookies,
No,
like
well, no,
dry
no.
as fuck.
No, honestly, those ones that are like cheap as fuck, those are pretty good. But sugar
They are
cookies, sugar cookies are good, but they're like you pay for what you get, but they're honestly pretty damn good for like not being much money.
Right.
Yeah. Snickerdoodle cookies.
They're
and that's the other thing too is like Oreos and stuff like that, like harder cookies, they're okay, but like a true, actually good or great cookie, it ain't gonna be fucking hard. It's gonna be soft because those are the best cookies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Freshly baked, made, soft cookies, way the fuck better. So in reality, not something that's just gonna be in a package from whatever. I mean, I guess Chips Ahoy like chewy cookies or whatever are like soft.
But
like
freshly
made
baked soft, like or hard.
We've got way off.
You know, you
like
can
desserts.
break them in half, dunk them in milk. They get a little soft.
But about this last meal thing, you're gonna be executed tomorrow. What would your last meal be?
My last meal.
You can have a main thing aside. You can't have everything, but like pick a main thing aside, maybe a dessert, maybe a drink, just to keep it simple.
I probably pick the thing that I've always enjoyed, and I usually get if I go to a new restaurant. I probably would Philly cheesesteak.
Sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh fuck
It's
yeah.
good Philly cheesesteak. Drink doesn't matter. Maybe sweet tea, or an Arnold Palmer. Tea lemonade combo.
Arnold Palmer's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then dessert. Fuck. A banana milkshake. Because it's not fucking vanilla.
Damn.
Banana is good.
Honestly, like I always love going to Steak and Shake and like doing the side by side.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate and banana, even the classic vanilla and chocolate, the strawberry banana. There's so many different. Even in those 4 flavors, almost any of those works.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Milkshakes are the best. It's just it is what it is.
But I don't know. I don't even 100% know what I said for mine, but I think my main thing, like I would love just some fucking classic hot wings. Like I mean,
hot wings are a good pick.
Whether they're that's what I mean. Like in their, I don't know if I'd want them trashed and then re-sauced or just classic like Emo's like sauced like that or whatever, but it would for sure be something like that. I don't even know if I picked something for a side or not, but those would, that'd be like the main thing. That'd be the meat for sure. You know what I mean? Like, and I love burgers. I love tacos. I love steak. All 3 of those things, fucking tremendous. But I don't think I could pick any of that over hot wings.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be your last meal, so you have something out that like you feels like shit afterwards.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, we went hard on food desserts. See, there's no way I could respect myself and see, I love candy too. There's no way I could be like, yeah, Snickers bar over like an actual quality dessert. You can't fucking say that.
Candy too, but I'm not gonna be like, give me a,
You're gonna pick a bar
M&Ms.
over, yeah. You're gonna pick that over a made dessert, Yeah.
I feel like most of the time our most heated debates on the podcast are always over food.
That's what's funny is it's like the most subjective thing in the world,
right?
Like
no,
and we're like very strong fans. We have a lot of people on that are very like big fans in horror, wrestling, Star Wars, things like that. Everybody has their opinions on that, and we're all basically just like, okay, I can respect that.
I see. And then when it comes to food, you're like, fuck you, I will watch you die.
It's so funny because like it's not even like you have to pick. You can like 400 different fucking things for the same shit. But that's what's always interesting is there's always somebody in the room or a couple they're like, oh no, that's shit.
It's a shit opinion. I can have that. What's my opinion? And it's wrong.
I even have that. Oh man. Damn, what was even the so yours was thin. Okay,
Thin
so
mints.
going back, like
You know
okay,
what?
the thin mints.
I'll give them the fair treatment. They certainly aren't overrated, because man, thin mints are fire, and I'm feeling a lot of thin mints in this room.
I like them. I like them. I
As
don't
you
love
should.
them. I like them.
It's palpable.
That was like a Ron White quote along. I don't love them. I like them. Fucking but man, thin mints. Like I'll eat them. They're good, but they're not. I don't know what my fucking Girl Scout cookie pecking order is, but it's definitely like Tagalong's number 1. I don't even really know what number 2 is, and I don't know if it's Thin Mints or not. I mean, I'm sure I've eaten them second most or maybe even first most by complete incident. Just because they're the ones that are fucking, I don't know, always around.
Because they're always around and everyone fucking gets them.
But I do like them.
Gets them.
I do like them, just to say that. But there's a reason why. Well, and see, they're trying to get rid of them too. If you see the tag-along package, they put like 15 of them in there because they're such a delicacy. They stack those fucking Thin Mint packages like 25 a fucking thing. They're the chocolate peanut butter ones.
Oh yeah,
with the taste so good cold.
Yeah,
I would put those
things cold though.
And they are popular too, but there's no way they're even fucking half as popular as Thin Mints are. I don't know why. It's because some.
Well, you only get 15 in a pack though, because they're fat as fuck. Thin Mints, they're tiny little discs. You can squeeze a whole lot more of them in a pack.
They're maybe a millimeter thicker.
Way thinner than a
You make it sound like it's a Big Mac compared to a fucking M&M.
It's at least a centimeter. Talking millimeter. That's tinier than fuck. 10 of those motherfuckers at least.
What? No, they're...
Tag-alongs are some fat sons of bitches,
You know why they fucking put them in there like that is because they're a delicacy and they're like, man, you need to enjoy every one of these. The Thin Mints, they're just like fucking
take these off our hands. Get them out of here.
They put like 25 of them
toothpaste
in each sleeve and you get 2 sleeves.
It's fantastic. That's why people buy them. You get the most bang for your buck with the Thin Mint pack of any of them. You get way more for your money.
You get too many.
I mean, do you want 50 or do you want 15?
Do I want 50
you get what you're paying
piles
for.
of shit or 15
you
flaming yawns?
50 scrumptious little mint delicacies.
We need to get somebody out there to compare the density of tag-alongs to fucking Thin Mints. Because
somebody will do it.
It is not that much. He makes it sound like it's a big... It's a Big Mac.
It's a millimeter.
It's not a fucking Big Mac compared to an M&M.
Do
like
you know what a millimeter is?
Yeah, I do. And you have any idea how small those cookies are? They're this thin, both of them.
Wafer thin.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
I would say a tag-along is a wafer thin, though. It's a pretty fat cookie.
Yeah, tag-alongs are fat. But Thin Mints wafer thin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a delicacy. It's like, goddamn, you're going to want to savor this for fucking 10 hours if you can.
Yes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But you never can.
No. They want you to come back for more. They want you to buy way more.
Mm-hmm. They want you to cry.
They want you to cry. Whenever you eat that last tag-along,
they're like, oh,
you
God,
savor that. Whereas you eat that last Thin Mint,
you're like,
like,
thank God it's gone.
I'm like, damn, give me the next scene.
Now I'm just being, but it's funny. Oh,
Now
man.
it's not taking up room in my freezer anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they're
damn,
like, get
now I got
out of here.
one less box in my freezer. I still got 5 more.
You telling me you wouldn't eat chocolate toothpaste if you could?
Get the fuck out of here, you chocolate toothpaste nonsense.
Now, I would say, no, those Shamrock Shakes, those are fucking good, though.
Get the fuck out of here with your minty shit.
No, those aren't even that minty. They're like a creamy fucking light mint. You know what I mean? It's not even really that minty, in my opinion. It's not a mint shake. It's why it's not called a mint shake. It's called a Shamrock Shake, you know? McDonald's wanted to, they would just... They would call it a mint shake. I'm not saying I necessarily disagree. I'm not always in the mood for anything like mints, and I do agree. And I do agree that Thin Mints are overrated.
Yes,
and I brought some down here because I was like, I got a couple boxes for free because my mom had a bunch of them. Look at that, she was trying to give them away.
She's trying to give them
I
away.
got them for free. Anything else, I would have had to pay for.
Exactly.
Anything else, man.
Because Thin Mints.
Those trefoils, those badass sons of... No, I'm just kidding.
Those aren't bad either, honestly.
I would say they're bad, but those are plain Jane as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Not sure why they're, I don't know. I don't know who's buying that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what are the Samoas are like the coconut ones, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
those
the
are damn
biggest
good,
fan
too.
of coconut, but those are pretty good. I can't even think of the other Girl Scout cookies. Isn't there like one with like a macadamia
I
something?
know there's
like
Do-si-dos. That's like the peanut butter one.
Those are really good too.
Yeah.
Girl Scout cookies just have a great variety, and then there's Thin Mint, which is what it is.
You gotta have, if you're gonna have a great variety, Thin Mint's gotta be in there.
I don't think that's true.
He's like, they're just trying to get rid of him.
I'm trying to get them out the door.
Well, we'll poll the audience, man.
Oh man.
Thin Mint, up or down? We'll
Big
see. We'll see what the
big,
people say.
big old down.
Damn.
Should we do one more topic? Or
Oh yeah. No yeah. We'll for sure at least do one more go around, all of us, right? You good?
I got to think of another one.
Oh yeah. No, well you're good. You throw one out there.
All right. Well,
We do disagree on food though hard. It's fun. Food is great to talk about though, man.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that every time we do this shit, we'd end up leaving, like getting off the pod and be like, God damn, I am fucking hungry. Just got done talking about food for an hour.
since you said you were a Titans fan,
Okay.
got me thinking about good old Ryan Tannehill. What do we think about? Because I always thought Ryan Tannehill's never been an elite, but he's always been. He's never gonna get you to the big game, to the big dance, but he's always been a passable starting quarterback.
He's a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah.
He can get you to some games won. That's about it.
And there's gonna be some bad performances.
There's
too.
gonna be some times you're like, wow, Ryan, why the fuck are you still playing? I mean, more than I can do, but at the same time, yeah. I'm gonna say he's fairly rated, which is he's good, but he's not gonna win you the big one.
Yeah, nobody's really out here singing the ultimate praises of Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
You know.
That's for sure.
I think definitely when he was coming out of college, people were like, oh man, Ryan Tannehill could be something. Like he killed it at A&M. And then, went to Miami, and everyone's like, oh, maybe he's not that great.
Well, that's the thing though. It's not always transitional. Cam Newton's arguably the greatest college quarterback of all time. College quarterback, but you see how that translated later on.
Like fucking Matt Leinart.
Cam Newton came into the league and he had a banger first few years, but once he got figured out, he could not transition outside of his wheelhouse.
Man, I'm so fucking pumped for this football season, though. I never wanted the last one to end, you know?
I'm hopeful that it doesn't suck. I think it's going to be good.
The Titans don't finish last?
Yes, as long as we don't finish last, I'm fine. Finish second to last, but as long as it's not last. I think they've definitely made some improvements, but it definitely doesn't feel like a team that I'm going to be like, cool, this team's going to be my playoff team this year. I definitely think it's the Texans division.
Yeah,
They stacked their
They're
roster.
insanely stacked.
It certainly feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably give him a fair also, because it's not like he's the quarterback that's going to take you to the promised land, but, I mean, he's not, at this moment, he's not like, I wouldn't say you grade him as like a backup or anything like that, obviously.
Definitely a serviceable starter.
Yeah.
I think his time has come where he should probably be like, okay, maybe just backing up and teaching the younger quarterbacks are probably the best bet for him.
Yeah, there's no team right now that I feel like is like Ryan Tannehill is going to be the answer here. If he would have been the answer, he would have been probably already. And I mean, if you need him to come in and fill in for 3 or 4 games, he's definitely serviceable to do something like that.
I think when he came from Miami to Tennessee, I was like, okay, let's see what goes, because I know it was very up and down in Miami, and he definitely had a good season or two, but it was definitely like, oh, we made it to the AFC Championship, and he kind of did nothing in the game. So he's very much he can get you to the point where you'll need to find someone better. So.
And I mean, and that's not even really knocking him, because I feel like he is a good quarterback, but there's a lot of the league that does fall into that category. Because there's only really a handful, and that's being generous, of elite quarterbacks at once. Like they can't all be in that class, you know.
There's more good quarterbacks at one time though than probably ever in the league though right now.
Yeah.
More good. I'm not saying elite, but like there's a lot of guys that can fuck. You know, like more than like just about at least half the league is like a pretty damn decent quarterback.
Yeah,
like,
no.
you can really. There's a lot of quarterbacks that give teams a shot. And if you don't have one of them, at least like you're looking for that guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now. I'd be like, okay, I'd be okay if that quarterback was on my team. Obviously, there's some exceptions with like Chicago with a rookie quarterback. Like, I'm not sure how he's going to do. OTAs aren't doing very well for him, but
they're
hyping the fuck out of
Chicago always though. They're like, okay, well, that one didn't work. We got to draft the next one out of college. They just keep doing it.
And then when they did have a quarterback, it was Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
And is it Ryan Tannehill?
They've never had. What if they never had a quarterback that's thrown even for fucking 4,000 yards in a season? Ever.
Yeah.
And they're one of the oldest franchises in the history of the fucking league.
I feel like their other like franchise quarterback before Cutler was like Jim McMahon.
They've really never
like
had.
That was in like the 80s.
They've really never had one that was like a.
No, they never
a
had
test
a
of
great
time quarterback. Like it's them and the Green Bay Packers as rivals are like the complete opposite in terms of their quarterbacks.
Yeah, no. Saying the fucking Packers have just churned out stellar quarterbacks.
Franchise
and they always
quarterbacks.
have. They got like 30 years out of 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And shit, even Jordan Love's not even bad.
And he might be the next 15 years.
Yeah, and to be honest, like it's really gonna. They'll probably pay him as long as he doesn't. Like if he's doing well the first month or two, I'm sure that's a sealed deal. Like if they start off and they're like 5-1, he's getting fucking.
Oh, he's getting paid.
Yeah.
And him going into Dallas last year and winning a playoff game like that definitely helps.
Even if he's 4-2,
and they put up a fight against the Niners too. Like
and that should not be overstated either, or not understated, I should say, because that Niners team, those guys are getting fucking paid. They're in their prime / getting older. And that's an all-star Hall of Fame roster.
Yeah.
And the fucking 21 and 22-year-old Green Bay Packers stuck with them. The whole game.
That 49ers roster is filthy.
Yeah. Well, they're dangerous again, but I feel like it's at the end of this season. We'll see. They're running out of time. They're running out of time.
No,
and the thing is, McCaffrey is not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to do this.
He's not a spring chicken.
Yeah, and he had arguably the best year of his career last year, but it's like you cannot have all that many more years.
You can't have the best year every year.
Yeah,
and he's already
had multiple years of big
injuries.
Injuries. He's had at least 2 seasons that took him out pretty much the whole season.
Mm-hmm. So.
It's crazy that he is still as elite as he is.
Yeah,
100%.
With his age, his injury record.
Kittle's getting older. They're not going to be able to hang on to Ayuk and Debo. I don't know why you would want to. They drafted 2 more, not quarterbacks, wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably a good move because you know you're not going to be able to hang on to both of those guys.
I think you definitely trade one of them for at least. Yeah. Probably something for like the defensive
Probably
piece.
Debo. I feel like if it's only one of them that gets traded, I think
but he's older too, and I don't know.
I mean, Debo, I feel like also does a lot for the morale of the locker room because he's like the hype man kind of.
I think you trade Ayuk.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would probably be my call, but for some reason, I just feel like it's going to be Debo.
I can see that.
I don't know where he'd go.
No idea.
Probably end up on some team that you'd be like, why would they need him?
They're running out of time.
He'll go to the Texans.
He'll fucking go to the Chiefs, and you'll be like, fuck it, why?
It'll be the Texans, the Chiefs, or the Ravens. He'll go like to one of those spots. Probably.
Like, cool. Why do you need to be there?
All right.
That's what I wanted to watch this season. Cool.
The 49ers are like always in a must-win position, and they keep losing in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when is this time gonna expire? Get them out of there.
Yeah, they just play spoiler and kick ass all season, and then fall short at the very end.
See, like they had such a, like, regardless, they had such a talented team last year. I mean, they're gonna again this year, but it's like it was hard not to be like, God damn, like this is a fun and impressive team to watch. But it's just like they can never cash in all the fucking way, you know.
Right.
They can never wrap. They can never win the last game of the season.
Mm-hmm. Just like Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Or, you know,
full circle.
Yeah. It's.
I think I already answered for that. I said fair. Damn, who do you think, like, who do you think, based on last year to this year, who do you think out of all the NFL, just off the top of your head, or if you have a few answers, we can talk about that too. Who do you think is going to be the most improved team from last year to this year? Or teams? Some people have different opinions on the Chargers. Some people think they're going to... Some people, even with Harbaugh, think they're going to fall flat on their face. And I'm like, that's...
I don't think they're going to fall flat on their face.
I don't know about that.
They're not going to be as good as some people think they might be. I think they're going to be good.
They got the quarterback and the coach.
Yeah, the quarterback and the coach.
Yeah.
They've been wasting time with that quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like such a good quarterback, and I just feel like his stint there has been pretty lackluster. Especially last season was such a disappointment for him.
If Rodgers can stay healthy, they have a shot to be one of the best teams.
Yeah, I feel
they
like
have a shot to
like
be. I'm not saying
Jets
they will
could
be, but they have a lot of good pieces or great pieces around them.
Jets could have quite an improvement for
Now,
sure.
Nah, he's gonna fucking tear his other ACL.
I fucking hope
if
not. I'm
he
not
gets
drafting his
injured-
ass in fantasy this year. That I'll tell you right now.
If he gets injured early in the season again, I'm gonna be like, he might as well retire.
If he takes one more big injury, he probably will. I hate to say that. I don't even want to say that, but I just did. But, and I mean, in terms of the pieces they got him, I'm not going to overhype him. I'm not going to underplay him, nothing else. But in terms of the positioning he's in, Caleb Williams and the Bears are being positioned to have one of the best setups for improvement.
I think they're going to shit the bed.
I mean, they might.
He's a rookie, too, man. There's going to be a lot of working out the kinks.
There's been so much talk about. He's got an enormous amount of pressure on him to win. Like, they want him to be. Some people are going as far as saying they're going to be in the fucking NFC Championship game.
Why would you be
fuck they will.
It's like, dude, the
and
Bears
like,
have been shit for
I don't know about
12
that.
years, man.
I don't know about that. Like, the Niners are probably a safe bet that they might. Like, I'm not saying they won't, but, like, they're a safe bet to be like, oh, they might be back there. Just like the Chiefs, at least in the AFC Championship game. Which I think, one way or another, they're probably going to find themselves back into it. So
They usually do.
So, I don't know. It's
I hope not, but we shall see.
Who are other teams that made a large improvement? I'm trying to think of who.
I think the Steelers are gonna do pretty well.
Yeah, they could do.
They got Russell, which I'm not saying is
and
great
Justin
thing.
Fields too.
But then they got Justin Fields.
He's not gonna do shit.
I hope he does.
He
seems like a decent dude. Like, and he like has potential. He is another one of those kind of like running quarterbacks. Though it's a dangerous.
He's 10-28.
Well, yeah, but he was also he's a Bear. The Bear, like every quarterback they've had for 25 years has been like a losing record.
But also, Ryan Tannehill was shit in Miami. They did pretty well in Tennessee. Was he the best? No, but maybe change the scenery would be best for Justin Fields.
Well, no, I agree. That can
I
change.
feel like he'll definitely
that can change
improve
things. But
from Chicago.
Russell, I mean, how long do you think it's going to be? Like, what has to happen, in your opinion, for them to say we're going to go with Fields instead of Russell? Because he came in there on a fucking dime, on nothing.
No, I think it's going to be a year of Russell.
Yeah.
And then Justin's probably going to take over.
What if Russ starts off 1-5?
If I was Tomlin, I'd change it, but
It's last year.
I mean, I would say, fuck it, it's my last year, let's go out and...
He probably will. If Russell is just dropping the ball like it happened in Denver, he probably will put in.
What if he
Fields.
starts off 3-3?
I think
I'd keep him in for a little bit.
You think it just has to be atrocious start
Yeah,
for him
it's
to be
gonna have
moved
to
off
be.
of?
The Steelers, it's going to have to be Pittsburgh's burning the stadium down.
For them to move off of
For
Russ
better-
the first season out. I mean, it should be, because regardless of how Denver went, Russ has still proved himself as a big boy professional fucking quarterback.
I think
In the
Denver was a
past.
fucking fluke. I think Russell's going to go to Pittsburgh and be the same fucking
To be
quarterback
honest,
he was in Seattle.
He didn't win that many games, but he didn't really have that many horrible games. Like, he
Right.
put up some decent numbers in a lot of those games.
Last year, he really didn't have a bad stat line at all.
No.
It just,
No.
they weren't winning
The Broncos
games,
were just
really.
like ass.
Yeah, like, I mean, the year before last, it was pretty rough out there for everybody involved. But, yeah, last year, it felt like he actually was pretty decent. Like, the Broncos stayed in the hunt. They just weren't really.
Mhm.
And it was like, how are you guys not good?
Like,
You
you have the
have
talent.
pieces.
Mhm.
It just
Yeah.
didn't make sense. But it just never clicked.
That seemed
You know,
like it should
Jerry
have worked.
Judy's traded, Russell Wilson's
Mhm.
traded.
It seemed like, then again, it seemed like the Raiders with, I'm not saying he's the best of all time by any means, but like with Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and fucking, what's his name? Renfro.
Yeah, Hunter
Should have
Renfro.
worked. And that didn't fucking work at all.
Nah, that should not have worked. Derek Carr's fucking.
Well, that's not the answer. The Saints, they might as well throw their season in the trash.
I could see the Raiders improving also.
Yeah. The Falcons.
I don't
go
even
with
hate the
Kirk.
Saints.
The Falcons are going to be very weird.
It's going to be
Since they-
strange. Well, the Falcons they've been a weird team for years.
Weird team, and then they fucking.
They got that shit stain still on them from that Super Bowl that they got fucked up.
God. Yeah,
They really do. They still have like just an ass mark on them, you know.
ass aura.
But I mean, do you think they're gonna win the division? It's either them or the Bucks, but it's kind of hard to say their Bucks will even take it.
I
from them.
think Kirk
Yeah,
is going to improve
It's-
their offense
yeah,
for sure.
it's
I guess
more
that might
likely
gonna
going to
help.
go down.
But I would like to see Baker in the Bucks too.
I would definitely like to see that the most, but
I think it's Tampa Bay's to lose. To be honest,
it looks more like the Falcons are positioned to win.
they can look position to win, but I think right now with them.
Kirk's
signing-
looking over his shoulder now too.
Yeah, and since they just were like, fuck it, let's draft this quarterback. Like, why? So I think maybe there might not be as a perfect fit as they want it to be, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, but that's a shitload of money to pay somebody to still not be sure.
Right? Like, maybe
You know?
they thought they were sure they got him in. They're like, actually, fuck, this might have been a bad idea.
Could be a Russell Wilson Broncos situation
Mhm.
all over again.
But
Who
he
knows?
might, and he's already fucking Penix, he's like 25 already, or 20, he's 24 maybe, something like
Yeah.
that. That's like, he can't sit for more than a year without
Right.
you, like what the
Yeah.
fuck would he be there for?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, I think Atlanta's going to be like, cool, we have two shiny new toys. If one
Yeah.
starts
Oh,
bad,
yeah.
fuck it, let's throw the other
That's-
one in.
Oh, that's probably the primary reason for it.
Do like the Jets did that one year that was just weird as fuck, and they started Sanchez and Tebow. I think Sanchez started like 9 games and Tebow started like 7. Like they just split the season. So weird. And they were like, "This is the ultimate strategy. We got 2 quarterbacks. We're gonna utilize both of them at once." And blah, blah, and then they still had a losing
Sucked.
record at the end of the
Because
year.
this is the Jets.
Last year, it was, I forget what the stat exactly was, but I think it was like 66. So obviously there's 32 teams. 66 quarterbacks started last year.
That's
Fuck
wild.
me.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So
I mean,
a lot of opportunities can arise through. I mean, some of them,
Very
of
much
course,
so.
are hard to account for because they're injuries and you never know.
Mhm.
And the sad thing is, and I really hate to say it, but like it happens every year, there's probably 1 or 2 star quarterbacks that are going to go down
oh, 100%.
in like the first fucking few weeks.
It's just the name of the game. Like, it's a
Yeah.
physical fucking sport. Like,
And good God, Hopefully it's not fucking Glass Joe Burrow again, because if he gets hit with one more fucking major injury, I'm not saying his career is over by any means, but like,
no, but it's gonna put a fucking damper on it.
They're gonna have to draft. They're gonna have to draft somebody else.
Yeah, they're gonna need to draft.
If he's out for the season,
they're gonna need to draft a better line before they draft somebody else.
You would think they would have fucking
I don't know.
drafted line this already.
He's still this young, and he's had like 4 fucking straight years with injuries.
Yeah, I just mean if you don't want to bring another quarterback in and get them hurt too, you gotta improve the line.
They should have done that anyway. Why the fuck would you do anything else before you?
Because you're Cincinnati and you're fucking stupid.
They just they were like, well, if we got all these awesome receivers and
no,
running back and quarterback, we're
terrible
not gonna
idea.
lose.
If your quarterback's protected, you can make somebody a great receiver.
Yeah.
How the fuck did the Chiefs win? They had no receivers.
Patrick Mahomes.
What happened? He fucking made some things happen. And Burrow he can beat Mahomes. That's the thing. But like the rest of the team,
they got to keep him healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And that's the biggest struggle they have.
Yeah.
So
because with the season they kept him healthy, they made it to the Super Bowl.
And see, like the Bills have things on all running on all cylinders, and like they can't beat Mahomes. Not whenever it matters, and not when the pressure's on.
And now they're losing players. They lost Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs.
But they did sign that fucking...
Stephon's not the worst. That would have been that would have been more of a detriment than fucking anything. What?
Fuck it. Was it Gable Stevenson?
Oh, yeah, they did. Gable Stevenson went to the Bills.
I did see that, actually.
Defensive tackle.
That's kind of wild.
It's a dumbass thing to do.
Well, he's still going to have to, like, make the team, right? Like, are they going to
I thought that was already confirmed.
Spot?
I don't know.
How do you transition from wrestling, like legit college wrestling, to like, oh, now you're in the NFL?
I mean, I would say Brock did it, but also Brock's fucking freak athlete, and he didn't do it very well.
Yeah. But he didn't really do it. He was like the last player cut from the team.
So, like...
I mean, he tried it, and he had some balls to do that.
So we'll see. I hope he doesn't do well. Just because he's not a great person, but that's not here nor there.
His one match, the crowd's like, yeah, fuck you. We're not here for it.
Man, if we ever bring on Rob, we're going to have to be like, hey, man, what the fuck are the Patriots doing? They got their ass. They're like 3 years in the hole before they even fucking see their shadow.
God, that team's falling so hard. And it makes me so happy to see.
Yeah. Boston sports fans don't know what to do with themselves. They just like dominated
the late
2000s, the early 2010s.
They just very likely they win a finals here though soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Yeah.
I don't see the Mavs winning.
It'd be awesome.
It could happen. I just think it's more likely Boston wins.
Yeah.
But that'll be. I mean, they've won a fuckload.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Sox went from not winning a World Series for 86 years, and then they won 3 within like 10 years. Yeah. I know. I kind of used to think I was like, oh man, that's kind of a badass story. Like they're underdog and this and that. Now I'm just fucking tired of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give a fuck about it.
You like the Yankees more than the Sox?
Yep.
Really? Fuck them both.
I mean, I'm not like
fuck the Red Sox, fuck the Yankees, fuck the Mets, fuck the Cubs.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even be that passionate about baseball anymore because I never get to watch it.
No, yeah, all the networks do everything they can.
God.
You're not gonna fucking watch these games.
You're not gonna watch fucking baseball. It's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. And baseball doesn't need to take those hits in the ratings.
No.
They need, like, people to watch.
Right.
So, like...
Yeah, I don't even really know what's going on. I know the Cardinals are on a winning streak. We're like second in the division now. But I haven't seen a Cardinals game all year, I don't think.
I mean, this dropped 2 of 3 to Philly, but it's fucking Philly.
Yeah.
And they're on a goddamn tear. Last I saw, they were beating Houston.
Yeah, I saw they fucking see, like, I like Baltimore, like, as far as, like, they're probably my favorite team in the AL. Obviously, the Cardinals are my team, but, like, I saw, like, when the Cardinals swept them, it was the first team that swept the Orioles in 2 years.
Mhm.
They had not been swept in a single series.
Yeah, no, the Orioles were
in 2 years.
for like in the series.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's probably the only team that has a record like that.
It's crazy that you like the Orioles because I like the Blue Jays, so it's the same
Really?
division.
I fucking hate their field.
Rogers Stadium? Yeah, it's the fucking shit. Fucking love the team. Fucking hate their field.
I thought you were gonna be like, what the fuck? No, I honestly just fucking, I fucking hate turf for baseball. I'm not a fan of that.
Turf is dumb. Turf is
Like for football, it's fine. That's it's whatever. But like for like, what?
And even a lot of the guys in football are like, get rid of it.
Turf.
Well, no, I'm not even necessarily saying it's preferential, but at least I get it for football. In baseball, it just looks fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fucking turf.
I'm just saying they just need to go back to just grass for all of it.
When it's like well maintained.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of dumb whenever the Coliseum, like you would like see like the like whenever the like
Diamond,
the Raiders I guess would play there, and like you'd see it in the field. It's
Guys,
just like
guys would have like dirt all over their football pants being tackled onto the diamond.
That shit was silly.
Shit was silly.
Man, yeah, we went down a rabbit hole there. But yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, do you guys have anybody in particular that you think is going to improve, though? I mean, or is it one
maybe
of the
the
teams
Jets?
said?
Yeah, probably the Jets, the Falcons.
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I can see the Jets definitely making a kind of run.
Without Rodgers, they won like 7 games last year.
I was impressed with how well
they beat the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to fall hard this year.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's going to be a big shock for not a shock, but like a big thing that people are going to be like, "Oh, what the fuck happened to the Bills?"
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to improve?
I don't know.
It's hard to say, really.
The Chargers have a chance to. There's just some people that don't really seem like they showed an awful lot of promise with the with their draft or their off-season moves or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, bias of me says the Titans, but they also made some solid off-season moves, giving like Calvin Ridley and like Cushenberry to like drafted offensive line. So like, I'd like to see them.
But their schedule.
Their schedule.
That has a lot to do with it too. Like, what if their other division rivals made some big moves? Then they might be in the same place they were.
I'm fucking aware their division rivals made big moves.
So it's like.
It's like I'd like them to win, but like at the same time, we play the Texans twice.
And the Ravens are probably going to be even better.
Yeah,
than they fucking were.
Yeah.
But then again, then they make it all the way there, and then they fucking lose when it matters too.
So you know what? Like, anyone but the Chiefs.
Well, that's what everybody always says, and the Chiefs keep beating them. Whether the Chiefs have nobody hardly, except Mahomes and a great coach and a decent defense, and like they still find ways to win.
Yeah, I'm getting really tired of being like, I like Andy Reid. Now I'm like, Andy Reid can fuck off at this point.
Yeah, I really do like some of the people on that team.
Right.
There's some great players on that team, but I'm like, all right.
Just fucking take a year off, guys.
I'm gonna root for anybody else now.
It was that 1 year, man. The Bengals and the Rams like made it to the fucking.
That was fun.
Yeah. That was like the only. It's kind of crazy because like inside of a span of like 4 or 5 years, that was like the only year looking back. It's wild to say and kind of discouraging in a way, but it's like that was the one oddball year where it looked different.
Yeah. It was like nice.
Yeah. It was like a completely fresh, and like even when it got down to like the final 4 teams, that was like the possibility that I didn't think was gonna really happen.
Yeah, no, it was just one of those things like, oh well, it's probably gonna be Team A and Team B again, and it was like, oh, Bengals won, oh, Rams won, fucking here we go.
It was a completely fresh Super Bowl.
It was nice. Let's have that again. Not the same team, but like the fresh one.
fresh bowl. Yeah, the Niners Chiefs. I was like, I did not want to see that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I've seen this before, and I was disappointed the last time.
Yeah.
See, like, surprise.
This is literally like Brock and Roman, fucking football version.
Even like the Lions and Chiefs, it would have been insane because it's been like, oh, this severe underdog who has not been at this stage like really in a long time at all versus like the team that's on top of everything.
Right.
So it's like, what the fuck was gonna happen? And then we got that rematch, and it was just like, I didn't want to see it fucking 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But
if it happens again this year, I'm taking a break from football.
Chiefs Niners. No.
Chiefs Niners.
Nobody
If it
wants to
happens
see it.
again, that's gonna be fucking absurd.
Out of everybody's gonna be like, out of everything.
I'm gonna tell Tyler, I'm like, dude, if the Niners don't win this time,
I'm gonna fight you.
It's a fucking joke, dude.
It's like I'd rather see the
NFL's
Texans
pulling a
or
joke.
Ravens, and I hate both of those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Tim? You got something?
Oh yeah, I got something. This is definitely a complete pivot even from all that, but I kind of like it. We talked a little bit of food and wrestling. We talked horror. We talked football, and a lot of this stuff. This is kind of a random one, but I know I was bitching about like traffic on the way, and I didn't even think of it today. I thought of it the other day, but I was like, you know what? What do you guys think about bumper stickers / magnets, whatever you want to call them, if you want to just say it's. Because everybody, and kind of ideally, like, bumper, I'm not talking about, like, just anything, because I know some people put, like, memory stuff on their car in honor of this person or that person. I'm just saying bumper stickers in general. Like, those fucking goofy, goddamn, people throw, oh, honk if you show your boobs, or whatever the fuck kind of stuff on the back. Or, like, I'm not even saying, like, talking shit on that, but some people have the silliest shit on their back.
Right.
Those Joy FM stickers, or I heard people say for years, they're like, oh, the shittiest drivers have those.
Oh, because they are.
Typically, yeah.
have those Joy. There must be a warehouse of free stickers for that they or bumper magnets.
It's
or whatever.
I feel like at a lot of like those
Sorry to cut you.
like community outreach things, like whenever the church has a thing in their parking lot and a bunch of little stands get set up and people walk through. I feel like there's just boxes of Joy FM stickers at every one of those kind of events. Church banquet.
I think
Joy FM.
1 or 2 bumper stickers is fine. Like, I actually have 1 sticker on my car. But, like, the people who have, like, nothing but stickers, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild, but I say fair. Because I would never do it to my own. I don't active. I even love stickers, but I'm so indecisive on where to put things that I have a bunch of stickers and I haven't put them on anything.
Right.
So that's just who I am.
I have 1 sticker because, like, on my first car, like, I had because Violent Gentleman, it's a hockey clothing line and everything, and so like I had that one on my first car, I had one on my second car, so I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna put one on this car. So like it's just something I keep doing. But like people who like put like the Coexist or Joy FM or anything, I'm like, maybe 1 is fine.
Salt Life.
Right, but like have 37, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say fair, because and honestly, sometimes I do get a kick out of it at a stoplight. I'm just like, oh, that's fucking goofy. Why? Like if somebody has 5 bumper stickers with just random goofy phrases and shit, I'll check them out. If I'm at a stoplight and they're right there, I'll be like, what do they got back there?
To a certain point, I'm not saying like, because like you said, just 1 or like that's. But don't you see how that's like, if somebody's got like 25 on there, it almost makes your like vehicle have the perception that it's kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? Like it makes it look kind of trashy in a way.
Right.
I don't know why, but it just does.
No, once you start getting where you have to put on both sides of your car and like more up or more down, you're like, what are we doing? That seems too many. Yeah. And like half the time it's just like they're throwing out their personal opinion. Which I get, everyone has opinions. Like, they're never good opinions. You're like, fuck.
That's what a lot of people use them for sure.
And it's like, I don't...
Which I never understood that either. If it's a very controversial opinion, one way or the other, like, there's a lot of people that'll see it and be like, fuck yeah, dude, and a lot of people that'll be like, well, you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
Like, I would never... That you're just putting a target on your car for somebody to fuck with it.
Like, we live in the fucking Midwest in fucking Jefferson County. I ain't putting shit in my opinion on my car because I don't want to get fucking shot.
Somebody to just, fuck your car up. Dude, I'm not going to say any names, but that just kind of made me think of a funny story. At our Pizza Hut, we had a driver of ours that was opinionated with politics. I won't even say which way he was. And there was a customer that he delivered to an apartment complex. We would deliver to this guy, and he had a truck with a bumper sticker on the back of a certain candidate. And dude, he removed it on a delivery one night, and this guy was like a nut. And I guess he got camera footage of it and stuff, and it ended up being a whole thing. He got him fired. He took him to court, like all over removing a bumper sticker from the back of his truck.
Jesus. Yeah, no. People who are like, I need to put my opinion all over the back of my car. That's where I'm drawing the line.
Yeah.
There's really no reason for it. It's like, just do what a normal person does. Just throw your opinion in a void on social media and just, let it sit there. That's not even safe to do nowadays either, because you'll get canceled for it.
But here's your home address.
And I'm not even dissing, or like, not even necessarily that I'm dissing them, but like, I'm not even saying it for that reason, because it's opinions and or I do agree or disagree with. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I don't know. It's never been my type of.
Right.
It's weird because there's a lot of aspects where I like to be creative and like kind of make shit my own, and like this is the way I want to do it or whatever. But there's certain stuff that I just leave alone, and I'm like, I do not even want to like make. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying obviously there's an issue with one, but it's like I'm not trying to fucking just do that to my shit. You know what I mean?
I'm like Elijah. Like, I love stickers. It's like my laptop, fucking full of stickers. My PlayStation, full of fucking stickers. I have one sticker on my car. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
You have a pretty new vevehicle too, don't you? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, I just.
Because didn't we total our cars around the
the
same
same
time?
I don't know. I think anything like over like 2 bumper stickers or like magnets or anything, I'm like, seems like a bit much. Which may sound like a crazy thing, but like, I don't know. I just feel like keep it simple.
Yeah, once you do have an array of them back there, it does just look
it makes
tacky.
It like, I don't know why it is like, because that's like not part of the car. It's like one thing where it's like, people do the little family things, or they put like their favorite sports team's like logo, and they have a couple of things, but like the moment it's like 20 fucking things back there, it starts to make your shit look a little
when you
less
see,
than.
When you see like the car emblem and the license plate, and then the rest is just fucking bumper stickers, like that seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I don't, because I'm not even saying there's not a bumper sticker out there that I don't think would be worth putting on my car, but like, I think it's just because mentally it's like, I know how much money and investment I put into this thing, so I'm like, I'm not trying to have this thing look tacky at all, like, I want it to look normal and fine.
That's fair.
It's just one of those weird things.
I think it's very interesting how people treat their cars and everything like that, and like how some people will like
I just took fucking hail damage recently.
Did you?
Yeah, dude.
Not
better take him to Dents R Us.
I don't even think I'm gonna get it fixed.
Fuck, are we sponsored by Dents R Us? All right.
Our buddy's family owns the place.
No
shit.
shit.
Alex Langley, his fucking his dad and him like have his dad like owns the place, but they like do the work for it and everything. They were just on the news because everybody just sustained a lot of hail damage. They were backed up. I think they're still currently backed up for like a couple months and shit.
Probably won't get caught up till like September.
Ton of goddamn business, but they are busy as a motherfucker. I'm sure.
Jesus.
I bet you all those detailer people and stuff, like hail damage people, are just raking in the dough.
Taking the dents out of there. Yeah, I'm fortunate right now, knock on wood, I can put my car in the garage, so it's not taking any of that shit.
Yeah, I'm just in the apartment parking lot. I'm like, if a hailstorm comes through, it's fucking just
like, let's see what happens.
And it has, dude. This spring, it just seems like it.
It
hailed like every week for
dude,
like
it's
3
been,
weeks.
This is like some of the mess. This is like the messiest spring I remember here in a while.
Right, yeah.
Like 2019, we had a messy one because that was, I don't know if that was a lot of storms, but it was a lot of flooding. That year, it basically was flooded from April to June. It was fucked.
Yeah, no, it was awful. And this year's this is
just a storm after storm, hail, fucking tornadoes and shit.
I was at work and then I got like the updates like, oh, it might be severe thunderstorms tonight. I'm like, fucking what? Didn't we just have all this?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I've heard so many tornado warnings.
Right?
I'm like,
Like
god damn.
sirens going off and
Right.
stuff.
It's been a long time.
Like I've been at the same store for like 8-9 years, and I never had to use like the safe rally point for like the severe storms. I've had to use it like 3 times already this year. Like, what the fuck is going on with this weather?
Yeah, it's like not even a surprise anymore when you get the alert on your phone. It's like severe thunderstorm watch tonight, blah blah blah, and you're like, I just figured that was gonna be like
I'm
this.
gonna turn the
this
fan
whole
on
week.
high now. Okay.
So what do you guys think overall? Bumper stickers.
I'd say fair,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, fair to a point. Once you go excess, it's overrated. But I mean, it's your vehicle. Do whatever you want with it, you know.
So however you feel like your vehicle should represent yourself, I suppose.
Yeah. If you want to drive around with 30 bumper stickers, do it, man.
You do you.
You got one or?
No, I don't. I
Alright.
can't think of a second one. I'm a failure, is what it is.
No. You're good. Damn.
You performed. You put in the work.
You did.
I tried.
Indeed. Indeed you did.
Indubitably.
I feel like we hit a lot of subjects.
We did.
Burned through a line. It was nice.
I mean, it was time for your first solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I thought
you can show more sides than just your wrestling prediction.
Just my wrestling predictions and trying to chime in over 50 other people.
Yeah. There was enough. Like those were the biggest like ones because I know on the WrestleMania one this year we had like a few less guests and everything too, and also was kind of put together like because we didn't know exactly when we were gonna film and everything. And I know you had like a trip planned a little before that.
Coming back from Nashville the day you guys were recording. I'm like, well, fuck, if I would have known sooner.
I know.
Which it's not your fault. Like, I like.
Yeah. Well, it probably would have worked out on the day that it did anyway, because I think it was like a Monday and it was like right before Mania, so that was kind of like the natural time to
film. Normal how it works out, which is fine. Like, it is what it is.
But either way, you're a seasoned vet at this point because this is your third one, and your first solo. And Cody and Colton also only have one solo, so you've got yours in now.
I'll be ready to be back for my second solo to beat them even more.
And you got to use the new equipment, the mics, the whole deal, man.
Exactly. It was nice. I appreciate you guys having me back.
Oh yeah, no problem. I was like, this will be an easy episode. I'm like, pick your brain on the because I'm like, me and you had never really talked kind of like horror content, to the extent that I know that we probably could, because I knew you were a fan. I was just like, man, we haven't really talked over too much of it before.
Right. Cause
most of our conversations regarding, obviously regarding work or like obviously like wrestling oriented stuff, but that's kind of what we went back to. And I'm like, we had a few conversations about horror stuff, and I'm like, we gotta definitely we gotta dig deep into that tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was really well.
But you have any final thoughts? You want to share any pieces of advice or things you want to, any shout outs you want to give or anything you want to say? The floor is yours.
Shout out. I think everyone got a shout out during the episode that I think needs one. Fuck Thin Mints.
That's the final thought.
You wanted to shit all over Thin Mints.
Fuck Thin Mints.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Alex Nicoloff on his motherfucking first solo episode, his third appearance overall. Hope you enjoyed him. He absolutely killed it over this, what is this? What do we got here? 2 hours and 50 plus minutes. So we damn near went 3 hours, so.
Look at that.
You get a stacked ass episode. Actually, this alone I think is longer than our at least SummerSlam one.
Yeah, I think so. I know fucking it's not as long as WrestleMania. Holy shit.
No, that was one of our.
That was a day.
We've only had like probably 10 or less episodes that have went over 4 hours, and that was one of them. But that was also 2 nights, and they both had like 7 matches. So it was a lot of and we had 8 people.
So many opinions.
So I was like, that's a lot. And Lord knows Colton had to go into the anus of the following year.
Oh, of course, he had to
talk about.
Yeah, that was another thing. You had to follow up.
I had to follow Colton. I'm like, well, fuck me. I got nothing.
You're like, oh, what's SummerSlam looking like? What's next year's Mania looking like?
Gotta keep him on his toes.
But well, it's been a hell of a time, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will see everybody on our next episode. And a big, huge reminder is next episode will be commemorated and celebrated, and it is actually going to be our 5th anniversary episode.
Hey,
Our
congratulations.
James' birthday is June 10th. That's the episode. That's the 5 years since we recorded the first one ever. We didn't even have the name until like the 3rd one. And I don't think we used music until a few after that. We didn't have to bring our first guest on until 10. And then basically every little several episodes we just kind of added new layers and layers to it. So
well, happy anniversary, boys.
Thank you very much, man. There's been a lot of people that have been in here and on this, so I'm grateful to everybody that has
It's hard to believe it's been 5 years.
been a part of it. I know. It's insane. We've recorded 60 solos just between me and Elijah. And with you, that's like 73 episodes with guests. Got it all kind of marked down just to sort of know. And so it's been fun because a lot of people like you, like yourself, like Cody, Colton, a lot of guys, girls, everybody is, our families and stuff have contributed to like making this what it is. And we're glad to be 133 episodes in.
I'm glad you guys have been going through it for 133 episodes.
Yeah. It's a lot of shit, man.
It's a lot of talking, but
we've kept the commitment up this long.
The last 2 years we certainly have put in a lot more minutes and hours than the previous few. You know what I mean? But took a lot of effort, and
I think it's really paying off.
So it has. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next for our 5th anniversary episode. I want to thank Alex one more time for coming on, being a great guest. And we will see you next time.